Hey there everybody, welcome to another awesome Barber Vintage Festival. I've got Jay McMacken and Jackie Van Ham up here in the booth hosting the live feed for today and tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, whether you're out there watching on the YouTube or on the Facebook. We appreciate you. Take a minute, hit that share button and share this feed with your friends that love watching awesome racing. We're getting ready to start race number 1, which is our CB160 class, but I wanted to start today's program a little bit differently. I've got an onboard video from one of our AHRMA racers taking a hot lap of the track during practice, so that way you can familiarize yourself with this track as we talk about it through the program. So I'm going to show that video, and then we're going to jump right into some live racing. Again, thanks for tuning in, everybody. For more information about all of our calendar, our schedule, how to come racing with us, and have some of this fun for yourself, make sure you head over to ahrma.org.
It's 820 Mitchell Barnes. Row number 7, it's 35L Jack Haynes. Row number 8, it's bike number 171 Chris Marlowe. Row number 9, it's 49L Lex Robb. Row number 10, it's 842 Tom Sanders. Row number 11, it's 13K Rod Skaggs. Row number 12, it's 294 John Scales. Row number 13, it's 614 Mark Shaver. And row number 14, it's 231 Rick Gould. That's your field here for the CB160. For the Class C foot shift, also sponsored by N-Cubed Racing and 2 fills on row number 16, it's bike number 1K David Tompkins, 122 Alex McLean, 53S Scott Dell, and 24 Grant Spence. On row number 17, it's 27 Bino Rohde, and bike number 59 Gary Swan. For the Class C hand shift, sponsored by Luke's Racecrafters, on row number 19, it's bike number 1 Tim Joyce, 81 Ralph Wessel, 224 Stephen Artez, and bike number 96 X Joseph Miller. Row number 20, it's 75A Gary Roper, 35 Doc Batsler, and bike number 17C Mike Baker. For the Novice Historic Production Lightweight, presented by LMP and Graphics Works, on row number 22, it's bike number 7S Mitch Skaggs, 696 Douglas Parker, 76U Luke Sayers, and bike number 51C Cassandra Gooding. Row number 23, it's 6F Frank Cotton, and 42S Silky Crombie, the 915 Craig Martin. On row number 24, it's 426 Clint Coolin, 713 Maxon McLaughlin, and 015 Andrea Blake. That is your field here for race number 1. For the novice, the CB160 Le Mans race, this is an exhibition race. It's sponsored by N-Cubed Racing. The exhibition class is open to 1960s Honda CB160 4-stroke twins. This class runs fewer laps than a non-exhibition race, and it features the unique Le Mans style start, which is popular with both riders and fans. Machines range from lightly modified to full-blown racers. Riders must enter the 200 Grand Prix Plus class to be eligible for the CB160 class. For the Class C foot shift, this is sponsored by Two Phil's Racing along with InCube, and for the hand shift field, this is sponsored by Luke's Racecrafters. This class is for 1951 and earlier machines. Bikes are typical of those raced in the early American Grand National Championship circuit. 500 singles and twins can have overhead cam or push rod engines. 750 V-twins or side valves or flathead engines are used, and they must use hand shift gearboxes. A battle of the smaller, lighter bridge bikes against the heavier, more powerful American iron like Indian and Harley Davidson. Foot shift and hand shift classes are on the track together but scored separately. And then for the novice historic production lightweight field, this is sponsored by Louisville Motorcycle Performance, aka LMP, and Graphics Works. LMP Performance Shop specializes in vintage restoration, race motor prep, vapor homing, and reclaiming vintage brakes. If you want to stop, go see them. Gemco is a 40-year-old company specializing in custom handmade vintage racing exhausts. They can produce over 40 models of exhausts for road racing, flat track, motocross, and off-road. They're taking exhaust orders at their rigs. They can also transport vapor hone jobs to the races. The field itself is for 1978 and earlier street machines in very close to standard production trim. Minimal modifications make this an inexpensive entry-level class, which is why it's intended for novice-level riders only. The lightweight class is for 4 strokes up to 500 cc's, 252 strokes, and certain 352 strokes are also allowed. Well, that's how the field shapes up as the riders take to the grid in anticipation of the green flag start coming here in just a moment. Looks like the Le Mans start holders are holding the bikes. Riders starting to make their way across the track, waiting for that green flag to wave. That signals that they'll sprint across the track, jump on their bikes, and fire them up as quickly as possible, heading down the track towards turn number 1. And breathe.
All right, looking forward to a great weekend of racing here, Jay, right? The weather is literally perfect.
Spectacular. Here we go. These guys are all getting ready to step up out there. Looks like our races are in position. Grid's getting set up out there. All the riders looking across the track, or actually looking up towards the start stand. Two boards up. Looks like the riders pulling down their face shield, all of them leaning forward, and there they go, sprinting across the track as the riders now mount their machines, trying to get them to fire up and get going as they bump along. Looks like it is 7:48. Christopher Ekinen getting the jump on the field as everybody's starting to fire up those little 160s. One rider has not been able to get going down there as they have to move them off to the side. We have to clear the holders, get them down past that second wave as we're waiting for the second wave riders. That would be the Class C hand shift and foot shift guys, waiting for them to go here in just a moment. Meanwhile, the CB160 riders out of turn number 3 up over the crest of the hill through 4, down 5, and into Charlotte's Web. Quite a bit of a stretch between first and second place. Battle shaping up for that third place position as here goes the second wave. It's going to be the Class C foot shift and hand shift bikes cleanly away down that front straightaway themselves is bike number 1X, Tim Joyce, leading the field as one rider off over the track back. It looks like he's over in the turn 7 area. Oh, no, he's over by turn 4. Looks like we've got 2 bikes down out there as the rider's up, moving away over to the edge of the track as we've had our first Crimson adventure here today. One bike right there at the edge of the track, obviously right where people are going to be coming up onto the top of the hill there. So we're going to pull out the Crimson flag on this one. We'll bring them back around and line them back up once we get the situation addressed out there, clean it all up, and we'll try it again in just a moment.
Well, already, race fans, we're already off to an exciting start here
I'll
for
tell
race
you
number
what.
1, the CB160 Class C hand shift, Class C foot shift. We're looking forward, like I mentioned, to a great weekend of racing here. The weather is literally perfect, Jay, right?
It is. It's great.
It's absolutely spectacular out here.
Certainly
Barber
great.
is always just a real jewel in the crown of racing here in the United States. This weekend is, I think, one of the absolute best vintage motorcycle weekends globally. Honestly, I'm gonna go big and say that, especially because this particular year we've got a ton of international riders that have flown over here and shipped bikes over, or partnered up with companies in order to be able to campaign bikes here and race bikes here with us this weekend, which is awesome. AHRMA always trying to bring racers in our club the best tracks, the coolest events in the country. For more information about our calendar, our schedule, and how you can come either watch some of this awesome racing for yourself or come racing with us and have some of this fun and excitement for yourself. We also offer race schools. Make sure you head over to AHRMA.org. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We've already got on the live feed a couple of familiar faces tuning in. Greg Stover, thanks for watching. I've got Rachel Brunt, thanks for tuning in. Brian Glavicki, I'm guessing you are relations to Greg Glavicki. Thanks for tuning in, our AHRMA family. We appreciate you. We're going to be cleaning up that motorcycle that went down. The rider got right back up. He's fine. Or he or she is fine. I can't see that far. But they're cleaning up the bike right now. So we're going to put that away and then regrid everybody and head back out. It's going to take just a couple of minutes. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of our awesome sponsors for the 2022 season, because none of these awesome events are possible without our great sponsors, right, Jay?
That's right.
All right, let's go check them out, and we'll be right back as soon as we get back on track.
The Law Tigers. What's the first call you should make after a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. They are motorcycle lawyers who'll get you the help you need because your insurance company's goal is to pay as little as possible to you. Or doesn't know. Once again, all riders for race number 1, the CB160 Class C foot shift, Class C hand shift, and novice historic production lightweight. Bring them on back down. We'll send you back out and we'll try this again. Yeah.
All right. Well, you just heard Jay calling everybody back out to the grid, so the bikes are going to be heading back on out here. They're going to have to do a Le Mans style start again, so they need their assistants, the people that are going to be holding these machines. Are they just going to send them on? Are they going to do a flying start?
They'll do a one hot lap and then they should do the Le Mans start again. I think so many people were talking on the radio. I couldn't quite tell if they were going to do that or not. If they might just park them against the wall and let the riders stay on them. I don't know. I'm trying to see the holders if they're out there, but I don't see the holders making their way out there yet. so we'll see.
Well, as always, thanks for tuning in. If you hear us chatting in the background and hear noises in the background, that's because you are getting the behind-the-scenes sneak peek view of what goes on during race weekends. There's always noise, there's always a radio going, there's always messages, there's always talking to race control, finding out what's happening. So you will hear a little bit of chatter on the program, but it's a little bit of a sneak peek, a little bit of behind the scenes. Anyway, so we're going to get back. I'm going to show you some more shots of the track because the bikes are doing their hot lap. We're going to find out if they're going to Le Mans start or if they're going to do a little bit of a flying start, or we're going to see what's going to happen here. But let's go back down to the track.
I think they're going to scrub the Le Mans start because I don't see any of the holders headed back out there. So I'm pretty sure they're just going to line the bikes back up in their original grid positions, back wheel against the wall. Engines, I'm going to presume the engines will be started, but they may be a dead engine start. I'm not sure. We'll find out in a minute.
We're all going to find out together, Jay. That's what keeps it. That's what keeps it lively. It keeps it exciting here.
A little bit of an audible call here, and unfortunately, like I said, I was trying to do other things while they were talking about that on the radio.
I know you're doing 500 things up here, and you do a great job, Mr. J. I appreciate you. I know everybody at home does too, and everybody here at the track. Ryan Hobbs, thanks for tuning in. Travis Blevins, thanks for watching. Larry Demas, Tom Hay, Jody O'Connor Gregory. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Riders taken to the track for another warm-up lap. Of course, they're going to grid back up in their same positions. When they come back around on row number 1, it's going to be 270 Rob Hall. Row number 2, bike number 220 Tim Terrell. Row number 3, bike number 784 Christopher Ikanen. Row number 4, it's bike number 215 Stuart Sanders. Row number 5, it's 222 Sidney McLean. Row number 6, it's 820 Mitchell Barnes. Row number 7, 35L Jack Canes. Row number 8, 171 Chris Marlowe. Row number 9, 49L Lex Robb. Row number 10, 842 Tom Sanders. Row number 11, Rod Skaggs. Row number 12 is 294 John Scales. Row number 13, 614 Mark Shaver. And row number 14, 231 Rick Gould. For the Class C foot shift back on row number 16, 1K David Tompkins, 122 Alex McLean, 53S Scott Dellin, 24 Grant Spence. Row number 17, it's 27 Bino Rody, and bike number 59 Gary Swan. For the hand shift to Class C field, back on row number 19, it's bike number 1 Tim Joyce, bike number 81 Ralph Wessel, 244 Stephen Artez, and 96X Joseph Miller. Row number 20 is 75A Gary Roper, 35 Dak Batzler, and bike number 17C Mike Baker. And for the Novice Historic Production lightweight field, back on row number 22, it's 7S Mitch Skaggs, 969 Douglas Parker, 76U Luke Sayer, and bike number 51C Cassandra Gooding. Row number 23 at 6F Frank Cotton, 42S Silky Crombie, 915 Craig Martin. Row number 24, it's bike number 426 Clint Coolin, 713 Maxon McLaughlin, and bike number 015 Andrea Blake. That is your field here for race number 1.
Oh, Andrea Blake is racing in this. She races in the sidecars.
Yep.
That's excellent.
Looks like the Le Mans start is going to be scratched this time. We've got the riders up against the wall like this time, but they are on their bikes waiting for the green flag to go here in just a moment.
So this will be just a bump start, I bet. Or do you think they're running still?
I'm not sure if it's a live engine start or a dead engine. We'll find out in a minute.
Yeah. Well, this makes it a little bit more interesting in case somebody gets a little loose on that clutch and kills their bike. No, it's a bump.
Nope. Looks like a bump start, and there it goes. I believe that's 220 Tim Terrell getting the jump on everybody at 35. Jack Canes running third as he's struggling, working his way down into that second place position as the field dives down into turn number 1, over through turn number 2 and 3. Waiting for him to come back into view as everybody on the first wave cleanly away started looking back towards the Class C field. Green flag away for the Class C foot shift and Class C hand shift bikes. And once again, it's David Tonkin on bike number 1K getting the jump on everybody as the CD 160 field all the way up over the crest of the hill down into turn number 6 over there at Charlotte's Web. as looks like the top 4 bikes all pretty much nose to tail out of Charlotte's Web up the hill towards turn number 7 and down that back straightaway over towards the museum turns they go. Meanwhile, novice historic production lightweight field, the third wave finally cleanly getting away themselves, as it looks like it's bike number 7S, Mitch Skaggs, leading that field down into turn number 1.
I feel like our leaders should be making their way. Yeah, I see them starting to come around the back corner. Not quite to the last turn. Our leaders are at the last turn now, making their way down this front straight in the CB 160 class.
On the front straightaway to complete lap number 1 out front. Looks like it's going to be, couldn't quite get that number. It's 784, Christopher Ekiden out there. 35L, Jack Haynes running in that second place position. 171, Chris Marlowe back there in third. 13K, Rod Skaggs in fourth, or fifth place rather. Stuart Sanders, 215, he's running fourth. 49L, Lex Robb back there in sixth. 220, Tim Terrell drops back to that seventh. 220, 614, Mark Chambers in there. 820, Mitchell Barnes working his way through as bike number 784, Christopher Ekiden, setting a blistering pace here. Still has bike number 35L, Jack Haynes right there behind him, as Chris Marlowe and Stuart Sanders duking it out for that third step of the podium position, as Ekiden already lapping some of the slower hand shift riders as he's tucked in behind his fairing, rocketing down that back straightaway towards turn number 8, 9, and over in the museum here on this opening lap of a 6-lap race. Except I'm not sure if they're running 6 or 5 now with that red flag.
We're all gonna find out together.
Yes, we are.
Kai like in pie.
Akaiden. I used to call him Ekiden. I'm like, no, that's not right. Akaiden. Sorry about that.
Kai like in pie is how it was explained to me.
Yep.
We try to get everybody's names straight out here.
Yeah. Well, looks like your race leader, 784, Christopher Akaiden, really setting a fast lap as he's working his way all the way over through turns 13, 14, and 15 now. Jack Haynes solid there in second, but Marlowe and Sanders really duking it out for that third step of the podium as they disappear over in the back section of the course over around turns 13, 14, 15, waiting for them to all come back around here on the front straightaway in just a minute. And here comes your race leader, 784, Christopher Akaiden out there on that front straightaway. Looks like he's got almost a full front straightaway lead over second place rider, bike number 35L, Jack Haynes out there running in that second place position. Then it looks like, actually, no, it's 171. Chris Marlowe is out there running in that second place position. 35L, Jack Haynes, and then it's going to be bike number 215, Stuart Sanders. We're missing a transponder.
Well, let's go find.
No, yep, somebody's missing a transponder.
All right.
Christopher Akaiden.
There we go. A little race monitor for those of you who are following along at home. For all of the more detailed results, you can head over to race-monitor.com. I can't scroll through this too much or go further past 10 because it messes up my computer program. So anyway, if you want to go see further down pack, head over to race-monitor.com.
Hey, Jackie. Flag should be coming out your next time by as bike number 784, Christopher Akaiden, really again putting his head down, checking out on the rest of the field. 171, Chris Marlowe was running second, and 35L, Jack Keynes was rounding out your top three. Waiting for him to come out of the front straightaway here in just a moment. The starter has green and white flags in his hand, letting Christopher know he's got 3 done and 3 left to go. As here he comes on to the front straightaway. Nope, those are still back mark riders. As there goes your race leader, bike number 784, Christopher Akaiden, really down behind that fairing, running strong. Chris Marlowe holding on to second, but 35L, Jack Keynes right there behind him, stalking that second step of the podium as that top three start the second half of their race, working their way down through turns number 1, 2, and 3 right now. With the halfway flags out on this one, let's go first call. First call for race number 2, Sound of Thunder 2. You folks will be up here in just a moment. It is first call. First call for race number 2, Sound of Thunder 2. First call for race number 2, first call. Keep talking.
We still have some of the CB160 class making their way across start finish now. Cindy McLean, who is a member of our AHRMA family out here. Always great to see her and her husband racing together. It's a lot of families that race together out here at AHRMA, I gotta tell you.
Running on down through the list, 215, Stuart Sanders holding on to that 4th position overall. Then it's going to be 1K, David Tompkins. He's leading for the Class C foot shift bikes out there in front. Then 122, Alex McLean rounding out your top 5. Alex running in the second place, looks like, in Class C foot shift. And 222, Cindy McLean, his wife, running out there in the CB160 class. She's back there in that 7th place position. 614, Mark Shaver in 8th. 49L, Lex Robb back there in 4th. And 820, Mitchell Barnes rounding out the field as it looks like bike number 24 coming to an early end, as it looks like, not sure if he's lost his chain out there or has a mechanical problem, but tough break for racer number 24 as his race comes to an early end over in the museum turn. So we're going to have to drag just a moment on our call so we can go pick him up. As again, 784 Christopher Akaiden out there really continuing to pick his way through the back markers, working his way over into that second, down into turn number 2 rather. Then it's 35L Jack Keynes holding on to that 2nd place position as he's gotten the better of his battle with Chris Marlowe. So put Marlowe on 171. He's holding on to that 3rd place position as the laps continue to click down here in race number 1. You seeing this?
Yeah.
Didn't get a number from the bike.
24.
Is it 20? No, this is a different guy.
Oh. So we had a couple folks, looks like they ran wide or maybe had to pull off track. Everyone's okay though. They just scooted on off
Tim
the track.
Joyce.
Timmy.
I think that's
Joyce.
Tim Joyce.
We believe he might have had to pull off track, and then the number 24 bike also had to pull off track already for today's race. Race number 1.
Out front, bike number 784, Christopher Akaiden out there still leading this one. Jack Keynes holding on to that 2nd place position with 171, Chris Marlowe back there in 3rd. Looks like starter has a white flag in hand for Christopher Akaiden when he comes around one more time. 122, Alex McLean now showing as the lead for the Class C foot shift over 1K, David Tompkins. So put Alex McLean up on that top step of the podium for the Class C foot shift. Again, still waiting for the race leader to work his way around. Somebody's got a belly pan dragon out there. White flag waving for your race leader, 784, Christopher Akaiden out there as he starts his final lap, working his way, picking his way through the back markers. Meanwhile, 35, Jack Keynes back up there on that 2nd step of the podium as it's going to be 49L, Lex Robb coming in there, holding on to that 3rd. And then it's going to be bike number 171, Chris Marlowe back in 4th. as they all start their final lap. Meanwhile, up front, actually it's 13K. Rod Skaggs is actually shown as the leader. Now for Race Monitor, having some issues out there trying to make sure we get our transponders all set up the way they should be. So my apologies, but 13K. Rod Skaggs has been the one showing as the leader. Then 35L Jack Haynes in second, and 49L Lex Robb rounding out your top three.
Was that number one bike a Kaiden?
No, I don't know what happened to Christopher. He was showing on the lead, but now Race Monitor's not showing it at all. At least on his top.
All right.
He's down in 12th. They had him as race leader for the longest time. Now it's 35K. Rod Skaggs out front. White flag out for your race leader, 13K. Rod Skaggs, as he's showing it as a leader out there on Race Monitors. Apologies for making the calls, as our Race Monitor had the incorrect information. 35L Jack Haynes still showing back there in second, with 49L Lex Robb rounding out your top three as they're on their final lap here. Announced to control.
All right, checkers.
Just Race Monitor. Announced to control. First call.
All right, well, our excellent flagman out there, Ed Bargy.
Checkered flag out on your unofficial race winners out there, as we're trying to get our scoring system here taken care of. I know they understand who's winning out there and who's leading, but we're still working with our Race Monitor to make sure that it's set up the proper way. Checkered flag out on this one, and I know we've got a couple of pickups, so let's go second call. Second call, race number 2, Sound of Thunder 2. You folks will be up here in just a moment. It's second call. Second call for race number 2, Sound of Thunder 2. You folks will be up here in just a moment. It's second call for race number 2.
All right, well, we still have some folks making their way back across start finish. As you just heard Jay make second call, letting our race number 2 for this morning know that they need to start thinking about heading towards the grid.
Yeah.
How many races are we going to get through this morning before lunch, Jay? We do take a break.
Hoping for 5. That's what they're shooting for.
We're aiming to get through sidecars for this morning's program. We do take about an hour for lunch, and then we come back and we do our afternoon program, by the way, for those of you watching at home. So make sure you hit notifications on, so that way you do not miss our second part of our show today, which will be the afternoon program. I've also got an interview with our current points leaders for this year's Historic Cup, and it is neck and neck. It's Jeremy Madrill and Jesse Davis. They have been duking it out all season. It is incredibly close. I shot a little quick interview up here in the booth with them last night, chatting a little bit about that race. That is our Historic Cup race for this year. So I have that coming up. We have the Grand Marshal for this weekend, Brian Slark, might be coming up to do an interview with us, and Mr. Daytona himself, Scotty Russell.
Oh, Scott Russell here this weekend?
Scott Russell's here this weekend.
Super.
And he also was thinking about coming up here and chatting with us. So
cool.
We're gonna have all sorts of special guests. So make sure that you come on back. You are not gonna want to miss any of this awesome action coming your way this entire weekend. We've got all sorts of special guests and interviews and cool videos and all sorts of stuff going on here at the 17th Annual Barber Vintage Festival, powered by BMW Motorrad. You are watching the AHRMA Road Racing program. We're going to take just 1 second to pick up. There was 2 bikes that ran wide or had a mechanical. We're going to pick them up. Everybody's okay. And then we're gonna get back into our program. We're gonna have just a couple minutes, so I'm gonna show you a great onboard camera shot from Eric Watts from practice earlier this week. And this is, by the way, right now they're just crossing start finish. So this is wonderful. We're heading turn 1 right now. Just a left minute. thanks again to Eric Watts for grabbing that shot for us. I asked really nicely for our AHRMA members to throw a GoPro on the front and send me some footage, and he put that together for us. Just awesome. So thank you. Huge appreciation to him. He's racing, by the way. I know you probably saw some more modern bikes in that class. We're not just antique bikes, right, Jay? We do modern classes here as well. So that was a little KTM RC 360, 390 that he was aboard. So we do some modern racing here as well. We've got all sorts of classes for all sorts of different bikes here. So if you want to come racing with us, make sure you check out all the details at ahrma.org. How are we doing, Jay? I know we're picking up some bikes. We got just a hot minute.
I'm still waiting for him to tell me what's going on. We're holding on second call for the moment.
But we've had a handful of Moto Fests powered by AHRMA all around the country this year for the 2022 season. They're always incredible parties, and it's a chance for us to bring together our dirt racing program and road racing program and have one awesome event together.
Gotta go third.
So this is going to be...
Attention out there in the program. Let's go third call, third and final call for Sound of Thunder 2. You folks are up right now. If you want to bring them on up, we'll get going with our racing program again. It's third call, third and final call for Sound of Thunder 2, sponsored by Boulder Motorsports and Brian Sharp. You guys are up right now. Bring them on up. Third call, third and final call for race number 2, Sound of Thunder 2, sponsored by Boulder Motorsports and Brian Sharp. Third call, race number 2. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. So I just was saying that we've had these great weekends where there are these very festival type atmospheres, and this is absolutely the same. Yeah. There was an Oktoberfest party the other night in the road racing paddock. They cooked 100 brats. They had sauerkraut. It was a huge celebration. We had a wedding yesterday. We have so much fun here. We have such a good time.
And here come the bikes.
These weekends are just spectacular. They're some of my most favorite weekends. And then we also just have a huge racing program. I think this season we have
17 races
17 races.
Yeah, it's one of the bigger race events.
Oh, today's 17 race. Yes, we've got 17 races going on today, but the entire series for 2022, I think, was like 16 races.
It was at least 12, but it was a lot this year.
It was a lot. So we're all over the place.
As the riders take to the track for their warm-up lap, here's how they're going to grid out for the Sound of Thunder 2, presented by Boulder Motorsports and Brian Sharp. On row number 1, 38A, Arnold Hastings, 4L, Drew Jancourt, 762, Shane Quigg, and 329, Matthew Crabtree. On row number 2, it's bike number 771, Ray Hoffman, 553, Paul Canale, and 25, Frank Schoenbeck. Row number 3, it's 370, Brett Folkerts, 811, Tommy Ryan, 99T, Todd Murray, and 22A, Mark 10. Row number 4, it's bike number 19, Nate Kern, 60X, Rob Wines, and bike number 901, Sean Vies. Row number 5, it's 811T, Mark Jurasic, R73, Greg Levicki, 46, Bob Robbins, and 83B, Sven Blay. Row number 6, it's 9Q, Jim Barker, 2P, Peter Kosakis, and 647, John Weberka. Row number 7, it's 090, Christian Miekma, 42, Scott Cuban, 802, Tristan Millard, and 562, Jeremiah Walker. Row number 8 is bike number 90, Lee Trollope. Bike number 60, Eric Burrell, and 74H, Adam Mashley. In row number 9, it's 6T, Teddy Honan, 850, Tim Nelson, 729, Jonathan Casello, and bike number 94, Ryan Rader. Row number 10, it's 576, Christian Jensen, 009, Kyle Smith, and 97K, Krevin Rommel. And then rounding out your field, back on row number 11, it's bike number 15R, J.M. Padron. That's your field here for race number 2, the Sound of Thunder 2, presented by Boulder Motorsports and Brian Sharp.
Woo!
Now I gotta read
How many bikes is
the
that?
script. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 36.
About 36 bikes on this grid. Woo! Sound of Thunder 2. And what bikes compete in this class, Jay?
For the Sound of Thunder 2, since 2006, Boulder Motorsports has specialized in high-quality Ducati service and performance with one-on-one customer service. They provide knowledgeable information and comprehensive service solutions for Ducati enthusiasts and racers. Housing one of the largest and most comprehensive Ducati parts inventories in the U.S., they cover everything from performance upgrades to simple hardware and maintenance items. The field itself, the Sound of Thunder 2, is open to any of AHRMA's Sound of Singles or Motard motorcycles. These feature liquid-cooled twins to 850 cc's and unlimited displacement air-cooled twins. 3-cylinder machines, so the 675 cc's are allowed, and that's like the light machines like the Triumph Speed Triple, and 2 strokes up to 250 cc's are allowed. So this is going to be one big fast race. 36 bikes scheduled to be on the grid for race number 2. Here we go.
Woo!
Here we go.
Woo!
Man, that's a big grid.
Right?
Behave yourself, guys. Give me 4 clean laps. And have fun.
And have fun.
Looks like the grid's there.
Yeah, this one is just
All
stacked.
bikes out there on the front straightaway now. Everybody getting gridded up. Looks like a pretty clean grid so far. Grid marshals moving off to the side of the track. Getting ready for the start here in just a moment.
Let's see that launch.
Grid marshals are cleaned up and off of the way. 2 boards up. Our race starter Ed Bargy leans into it. 1 board sideways and a green flag waves as it looks like bike number 553, Paul Canale, for the second wave gets a great start, working his way up into about 3rd overall as 36 bikes all dive down into turn number 1. Everybody making it cleanly through turn number 1. Some obviously mid-pack passing as they're now trying to sort it out and figure out who's going to lead and who's going to follow as they work their way through turn number 2 up to the hill 3 and 4. Here they come now, working single file up front, a 2-rider breakaway, and then the rest of the field dives down into that braking zone, down into turn number 6, Charlotte's Web. A different set of lines as riders work their way through Charlotte's Web. Looks like everybody cleanly through there on the opening lap. Still some mid-pack passing sorting it out as the fast guys were running. Well, starting in the back, it looks like J.M. Padron, who's an extremely fast rider, starting all the way back on row number 11. So look for him to be trying to carve his way through the field as the race leaders lead the field down through turn number 8 and 9 over by the museum turn, waiting for him to come back up over there in front of the fan zone through 11, 12, and over to 13. We'll get the full running order for you when they complete lap number 1 here in just a moment.
And they're at the top of your screen right now, making their way down the backside of this track towards the last couple of turns. Ooh, I've got a bike slowing way down, maybe a mechanical.
I didn't see him. I will say that that last race, they did get race monitor figured out. It was Christopher Akaiden on 784 taking the unofficial win.
Ah, good. So I've got this right now.
Posted 16 again.
Out front on that lap, looks like it's 4L. Drew Jancord leading the field with 771. Ray Hoffman right there behind him in bike number 19. Nate Kern out there on his 9T, R9T BMW. Then that's going to be 870 Brett Folkert back there in 4th, and 38 Arnold Hastings rounding out your top 5. 99T Todd Murray back there in 6th, 329 Matthew Crabtree in 7th, 11T Mark Jurasek in 8th. 83B Sven Blay back there at 9th, and 15 JM Patron starting way back on that last lap, or the last of the field. On that first lap, crosses in the 10th place overall, so Patron definitely on a march forward as Drew Jancord got a rocket start on that one. Led that first lap, still leading the field all the way over through the museum turns right now, waiting for him to come up that back straightaway over by the fan zone one more time.
And race leaders are making their way over to the museum right now. The museum is at the very top of your screen.
Attention out there in the paddock. Grids for race number 16 have been reposted. Again, grids for race number 16 have been reposted. If you're in race 16, please get down there and check out your grid positions. Again, grids for race number 16 have been reposted.
Race leaders.
Race leaders out of turn number 17 here onto the front straightaway at the line. Looks like it is going to be bike number 4L, Drew Jancord. Still has about a 10 to 12 bike length lead over 771 Ray Hoffman, and bike number 19, Nate Kern, running strong out there on his 9RT BMW. Hold on that 3rd place position. 370 Brett Fulkerson 4th, and 99T Todd Murray rounding out your top 10 as Jancord once again off the crest of the hill, turn number 4 over to the braking zone, and turn 5 down into turn number 6 with Charlotte's Web. He still has Hoffman, Kern, and Fulkerts all right there behind him. Then a bit of a gap back to that 5th place position. It's Todd Murray, but he's got Arnold Hastings and Matthew Crabtree right there behind him, starting to reel him in, making a battle there for 5th place position as once again 4L Drew Jancord Miller puts himself down in that tank behind that fairing, rows down through that gearbox, rocketing down that back stretch from turns number 8 down into 9 and 10 over by the museum one more time. Still a lot of laps left in this one as Jancourt's on rails so far.
And as always, for more details a little further down pack, make sure you head over to race-monitor.com. Here on the live feed, I can only show the top 10 without kind of upsetting the computer program. So anyway, head over to race-monitor.com. This is a huge grid. There's 36 bikes out there, so there's a lot of information to be found. Our race leaders are just now making their way through the backside of the track. They'll be coming out on last corners right now. There they are.
Bike number 4L, Drew Jancourt, one more time through turn number 17 onto the front straightaway. But here comes bike number 771, Ray Hoffman. So not sure if Jancourt had a bit of a moment out there or Hoffman found just a little bit better traction, a little bit better line, as only about 4 bike lengths separated those two. So Hoffman now setting his sights, trying to move up onto the top step of that podium. Bike number 19, Nate Kern, still holding on to that third place position out there on his BMW as Jancourt leads Hoffman out of turn number 4 for the crest of the hill down into Charlotte's Web one more time. Looks like Hoffman now right on the tail section of Jancourt as they're out of 6 up over the crest of the hill and down that back straightaway. Jancourt stretching the legs on his machine with a little bit more horsepower, pulls out about 6 bike lengths over Hoffman, but Hoffman once again closes in on the brakes down through turn number 8 and 9 over into the museum turns they go one more time. So Jancourt holding on, but Hoffman's really stalking him for that top step of the podium as that duo is out of 10 up the hill. They go past the fan zone over into turn number 11 and 12. Looks like Jancourt got a good drive up that hill, holds about 6 to 8 bike lengths. Hoffman still there, trying to reel him back in as they're back up over through turns 13, 14 into the hilly section of the course, waiting for him to come around to complete the next lap. Looks like starter has green and white flags in hand, letting these two know that they've got 4 laps done and 4 laps to go when they come into view here in just a moment. Out of 17, here they come down the front straightaway. Hoffman trying to work the draft, about 4 to 5 bike lengths adrift that time as they see the white flags out there. Meanwhile, Nate Kern still holding on to that third place position, but 370, Brett Folkerts is certainly there within striking distance. Still a lot of laps left in this one as they just hit halfway as Jancourt leads Hoffman and Folkerts starts to stalk Kern for that third step and trying to put himself up on the podium as there go your leaders, Jancourt and Hoffman down into Charlotte's Web one more time. Meanwhile, Folkerts digging in deep, starting to try and close in as Hoffman shows a wheel to Jancourt out of the Charlotte's Web up over turn number 7. Jancourt returns the favor by just stretching the throttle cable out on his bike and instantly gapping out 4 bike lengths over Hoffman as they just absolutely leap down that back straightaway. So Jancourt's got to know he's got some company right behind him as Ray Hoffman on 771 continues to stalk 4L Drew Jancourt. Meanwhile, bike number 370, Brett Folkerts, continues to chip away at the third place position that 19 Nate Kern has as here comes Folkerts now trying to work the draft on Kern. Pulls within 3 bike lengths as they're over through turns number 12 and 13 here one more time. Everybody's seeing halfway, so whatever happens in this race, it would be considered a complete race. Waiting for the race leaders one more time to come out onto the front straightaway. Here they come. Jancourt still holds about 4 to 5 bike lengths over Hoffman. Hoffman trying to figure out where he can make that pass. Meanwhile, here comes Folkerts really stalking Nate Kern. Pulls about 4 bike lengths himself as a battle for first and a battle for third here in this Sound of Thunder 2, sponsored by Boulder Motorsports. Looks like the race leaders are going to have to work their way around a lapped rider here on this lap. We'll see if that comes into play as Drew Jancourt gets a great drive up over the crest of the hill, still holding about 5 bike lengths over Ray Hoffman as they come in through Charlotte's Web. So Hoffman showed Jancourt a wheel on that last lap. Jancourt knows he's there, puts his head down, now holding out about 8 to 10 bike lengths as Jancourt around the back marker. Looks like Hoffman might get checked up just a little bit. Meanwhile, Folkerts continues to harass Kern for that third step of the podium with bike number 99T, Todd Murray, back there in that 5th place position. 329, Matthew Crabtree in 6th. 15R, J.M. Padron coming on strong. He's holding on that 7th place position after starting all the way at the back of the field. 38, Arnold Hastings there in 8th. 11, Mark Jurasik back there in 9th. And 562, Jeremiah Walker holding on to that 10th place position as Drew Jancourt now in the final laps here really starts to stretch it out and open up his lead a little bit over Hoffman. Meanwhile, Brett Foker smells blood in the water as he's trying to reel in 19. Nate Kern trying to make a battle for it as looks like Kern might have got checked up a little bit on a back marker. So Foker's definitely there within striking distance. As here comes your race leader, bike number 4L, Drew Jancourt. Now, he's found his second wind has opened up about a 10 to 12 bike length lead over Ray Hoffman. 19, Nate Kern there with bike number 370. Brett Folkert still trying to reel him in. Folkert has been able to chip away at the lead over in the back section of the course, but not able to do much with it on the front straightaway. Let's go first call. First call for race number 3, Formula Vintage. You folks will be up here in a minute. First call for race number 3, Formula Vintage, Classic 66 50, 200 GP, 2-stroke Classic 350, and 2-stroke Classic 250. You folks will be up in just a moment. First call for race number 3, Formula Vintage, Classic 6650, 200 GP, 2-stroke Classic 350, and 2-stroke Classic 250. First call for race number 3.
Race leaders are heading towards the museum right now.
Race leaders all the way over by the museum area. 4L Drew Jancourt now comfortably in the lead. 77L Ray Hoffman hold on to that second, but the battle between Kern and Volkers continues to rage as they're working their way through the museum turns themselves, waiting for the race leader to come back around here and see the white flag in just a moment. There they go up through turn number 11. Volkert still within 3 bike length now of Nate Kern as they dive over into turn number 13 and 14. Volkert's knows the laps are starting to click down here. If he's going to do something, he's going to have to do it soon. In fact, he's going to have to do it on this next lap because the white flag is coming out here for your race leader, bike number 4L, Drew Jancourt, as he's got about a half a front straightaway lead over bike number 771, Ray Hoffman. Then here's the battle for third. Nate Kern holds it. Volker sees the white flag, puts his head down, holding on about 4 bike lengths, and it looks like they may come into some lap traffic as they're working their way here on the final lap of this exciting race number 2. Race leaders all the way over Drew Jancourt out of turn number 4 over the crest of the hill and 5 down into Charlotte's Web. Then 771, Ray Hoffman was running a hard race in the beginning, but kind of settles himself back. Here comes Folkers as he's working the lap traffic. Kern takes an inside line. Folkers trying an outside line. Looks like Kern gets checked up just a little bit. Now Folkers gets tagged up. Oh my goodness, what a race! As it looked like Nate Kern got pinched off on the inside, trying to go on the inside of a back marker, and Folkers went wide, and then Folkers ran out of room on the outside of the track as one rider all the way off in the grass over in turn number 11. The exciting final lap here.
Oh my gosh.
Meanwhile, it looks like bike number 4L, Drew Jancourt, out there in the lead. The 71, Ray Hoffman back there at second. We'll see if Folkers is able to reel in Nate Kern. Doesn't look like it, as Kern used that lap traffic to his advantage as they dive over into turn number 13. Tension in the paddock. Let's go second call. Second call for race number 3. Formula Vintage Classic 6650, 200 GP, 2-stroke Classic 350, and 2-stroke Classic 250. You folks will be over in just a moment. It's second call. Second call for race number 3. Formula Vintage Classic 6650, 200 GP, 2-stroke Classic 350, and 2-stroke Classic 250. Second call, race number 3. Checkered flag out for your unofficial race winner, bike number 4L, Drew Jancourt, taking the win on this one with bike number 771, Ray Hoffman back there in second. 19, Nate Kern holds on to that third step of the podium out there on his big BMW R90. Got to get that one right because he's sponsored by BMW Motorrad. He holds on to that third step position with bike number 370, Brett Foker, just coming up shy, and what a heck of a battle they had over there in Charlotte's Web. 9T, Todd Murray back there rounding out your top 5. 15R, J.M. Padron. He really come in strong, holding on to that 6th place position after starting all the way back at the end of the field. 329, Matthew Crabtree holds on to that 7th place position. 562, Jeremiah Walker in 8th. 11, Mark Jurasik back there in 9th. And 38, Arnold Hastings round out your top 10 as the rest of the field streams across the start-finish line to take the checkered flag.
Ooh, Woo! For more details, of course, you can head over to race-monitor.com. This was a huge grid, 36 racers out there. Here on the live feed, I can only show the top 10. It upsets the program if I try to scroll through it. So anyway, for more information and for more details and all that good stuff, make sure you head over to race-monitor.com. Wow, an incredible race, huh, Jay?
Yes, it was.
That was very exciting. So let's go ahead and start pulling up the graphics while everybody's still making their way across start finish out here. Again, this was a huge grid. So we've got a lot of bikes that still need to come on home. I'm going to start
with an exciting conclusion of that race. Let's go third and final call for race number 3, Formula Vintage Classic 6650, 200 GP and 2-stroke Classic 250 and 350. You guys are up right now if you want to bring them on up. Again, it is third and final call for race number 3, Formula Vintage Classic 60s, 650s, 200 GP, 2-stroke Classic 350 and 2-stroke Classic 250. You guys are up right now. Third call is going out for race number 3. Also, race results for race number 1 have been posted. Again, race results for race number 1 have been posted.
That was very exciting. It was a knuckle biter out there, huh?
It was so exciting. I forgot to put the calls out for the next race. I'm like, white flag's coming out by. I'm like, I haven't given a call for race number 1. I better do that quickly.
better do something about that.
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning in, everybody. I've got the I'm watching you watching us on my phone. So let's go ahead and thank some of you for tuning in. Tim Henderson, Kimberly Munsley, Mark Morrow. Hey, you're here and you're watching. Awesome. Chuck Thornton, Mike Hegarty, Bob Reagan, Robert Perkins, Jeff Brown, Martin Joseph, thanks for tuning in, Carolyn McLaughlin, who else is in here? Larry Reeder, one of my buddies in real life, Kathy Smith, Mark DiUlio, and then everybody else, thanks for tuning in. Paul Gonzalez, Stephen Langley, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you go ahead and hit that share button so that way you can share this live feed with all of your friends. I love watching exciting road racing here at the
for those
17th annual Barber
BMW
Vintage
owners that are out
Festival.
there, BMW Motorrad invites BMW owners to stop by the fan zone to register for the BMW Motorrad parade lap today that's going to happen at lunch. You've got about another half an hour to make your way over there if you haven't done so again. BMW Motorrad invites BMW owners to stop by the fan zone to register for the BMW Motorrad parade lap today at lunchtime. BMW Motorrad, make life a ride.
Wanted to go ahead and take a second and throw the map up. That way you can kind of see a little bit more of where we are at and what exactly is happening here. So this is the Barber track, the Barber course, and all of the grounds. Absolutely spectacular festival.
As the racers get ready to take to the track, here's how they're going to grid up for the Formula Vintage field presented by Racetech. On row number 1, it's 515 Jeremy Madrill, 949 Keith Powell, and 118 William Brent, and 02 Robert Rinalda. Row number 2, it's 139 David Wallace, 162 Alan Perry, and X72 Edward Barna. Row number 3 is 48 J. James Brown, X2 Bobby Birdsall. For the Classic 60s 650, sponsored by N-Cubed Racing, back on row number 5, it's bike number 864 John Rickard, 33Q David Tompkins, 17C Mike Baker, and 59C Bill Gould. Row number 6, it's bike number 5 Greg Tomlinson, 731 Stan Keys, and bike number C73 David Kaufman. Then row number 7, it's 758 Jake Hall. For the 200 Grand Prix Plus class presented by Kincaid Legacy, back on row number 9, it's 270 Rob Hall, 220 Tim Terrell, bike number 784 Christopher Kaiden, and 215 Stuart Sanders. Then row number 10, it's 820 Mitchell Barnes, 35L Jack Canes, and 222 Cindy McLean. Row number 11, it's bike number 6 Bill Doran, 171 Chris Marlowe, 805 Grayson Rogers, and 49L Lex Robb. Row number 12, it's 842 Tom Sanders, 294 John Scales, and 533 Hiroshi Murata. Row number 13, it's 338 Andy Feinlings, 17G Randy Newt, 614 Mark Shaver, and 231 Rick Gould. Row number 14, it's 57 Kevin Brown. And for the 2-stroke Classic 250 GP on the second wave, it's going to be bike number 417 Michael Perry. That's your field here for race number 3. For the Formula Vintage, this is sponsored by Racetech Suspension. Since 1984, Racetech has been perfecting the science of motorcycle suspensions. They offer performance settings, the legendary gold valves, G3S custom shocks, TNK fork tubes, drum brake arcing, and complete suspension rebuild services for vintage and modern motorcycles. Vintage specialist Matthew Wiley will be at the track this year at several events, including the Barber Vintage Festival, to assist AHRMA racers. Racetech has been an AHRMA sponsor since 2009, and in addition to backing the competitive Formula Vintage road race classes, they're a series sponsor for AHRMA Post Vintage Motocross. Contact Matthew directly to receive the best service possible and an AHRMA member discount, or visit them on the line, or on the web rather, at www.racetech.com. The field itself is open to machines which also compete in the 500 Premier, 500 Grand Prix, 750 Formula, and Formula 500 class, and Sportsman 750. Additional bikes eligible for this class include up to 1982 two-strokes from Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Yamaha, and Honda's four-cylinder CB550 four-strokes. The fastest bikes and some of the fastest riders, all of AHRMA's vintage classes are found here. David Krussell won the 2021 championship for the Classic 6650. This is sponsored by N-Cubed Racing. These are 1950 and 60 eras 650cc overhead valve and 883 side valve, aka flathead machines. This class runs with, but is scored separately from Classic 60s. Popular models include the Triumph and BSA 650s and the Harley K model. For the 200 Grand Prix class, sponsored by Kincaid Legacy Racing, this class combines a variety of engine designs and displacements based on an index performance. This class is for 68 and earlier machines, including 250 four-stroke singles and air-cooled two-stroke singles, and 175cc air-cooled four-stroke twins and air-cooled two-stroke twins and singles. This class includes purpose-built race bikes and converted production and off-road bikes. The bump-up class is the 250 Grand Prix class. Christopher Kiden claimed the 2021 AHRMA National Championship in this class. Well, looks like the field's getting ready to start here. We'll wait for the start before we keep going on through the sponsorships. As the flag waves, bike number 1P, Jeremy Madrill getting the jump on the field as wave number 1 thunders down that front straightaway towards turn number 1. Excuse me.
No worries.
Well, looks like turn 1 clear, second wave, waiting for those guys to get going, and there they go, the green flag waves as they rocket down that front straightaway. Looks like 820 out there, maybe 864. John Rickard getting the jump on the field. Actually, it's 820 Mitchell Barnes. He's my mystery rider out there getting the jump on the field as the first wave riders all the way over into Charlotte's Web. For the two-stroke Classic 350, this is sponsored by Street and Competition. We want to thank Miles for being here and sponsoring this class. This class showcases the 1974 through 84 era purpose-built 350cc liquid-cooled Grand Prix race bikes. And the two-stroke Classic 250 GP field is sponsored by Bill Gillis. This class showcases the 74 to 84 era purpose-built 250cc liquid-cooled race bikes. And that's your field here as the leaders working their way all the way over by the museum turn. Again, we'd like to thank Miles and Street and Competition for their sponsorship. Since 1981, Street and Competition has been trackside and dealing with mail order with a large selection of parts, protective gear, and accessories. So we encourage you to stop by their paddock here and check out their signature line of racing gloves with the kangaroo palm for great feel. Short finger sizes are available to ensure the perfect fit. They're also an Alpine Star Air Vest distributor. They have the new Alpine Star, the Tech Air 5, available up there. So if you want to stop by and check out what that safety gear is all about, we encourage you to stop by. They're up on the second tier over on the left side, back there in the paddock is bike number 1P, Jeremy Madrill, really out there flying. 02, Robert Rinalda holding on to that second place position. 118, William Brent back there in third. 949, Keith Powell in fourth. And 139, David Wallace round out your top 5 as they all start the next lap. Then it's going to be 162, Alan Perry back there in sixth. X2, Bobby Birdsall in seventh. 41, James Brown in eighth. 5, Greg Tomlinson back there at 9th, and 33Q, David Tompkins round out your top 10 as 1P, Jeremy Madrill really putting down his head, checking out on the rest of the field as he's exiting Charlotte's Web up over the crest of the hill down that back straightaway with 02, Robert Rinalda, and 118, William Brent running second and third overall as they start out down that back straightaway themselves.
Very, very quick Jeremy Madrill out there. Holy smokes, he is just absolutely walking away from it so far.
Yeah, he's an extremely fast rider.
Yeah, real talented. Always fun to watch. Let's go look and see where they are at over towards the back side of the track. See if I can track them down up there. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the last turn before the front straight and see if we can keep an eye out for him. There we go. Yeah, still a huge, huge lead.
Race leader onto the front straightaway. It's bike number 1P, Jeremy Madrill, absolutely flying out there. A full front straightaway lead over second place riders. Here they come, the battle for second down that front straightaway. Looks like it's going to be bike number 02, Robert Rinaldo leading 949. Keith Powell out there as they start their next lap. Then it's going to be 118, William Brent back there in fourth, and 139, David Wallace rounding out your top five as Madrill absolutely on rails has set some blistering opening laps here as he's over the crest of the hill down into the braking zone for Charlotte's Web one more time. Meanwhile, Rinaldo and Powell having a good battle out there as it looks like Powell on 749, Keith Powell finally around 02 Robert Rinaldo, so put Keith Powell back up on that second step of the podium as that duo works their way out of Charlotte's Web. Looks like Powell gets a great drive. Not sure if Rinaldo's machine's running into a bit of a problem or not. He didn't quite get the drive that Powell did as they both take off out of Charlotte's Web. One rider coming to an early stop. Looks like a mechanical there on the inside. That is 162 Alan Perry over there. A tough break as he has a mechanical off the inside of Charlotte's Web. That's an interesting place to pull off, but it made it work for him as a tough break as Alan Perry was running top six. And unfortunately, his race comes to an early end as his machine expires. Attention in the paddock. Results for races 1 and 2 are posted. Again, results through race 2 are posted.
Jeremy Madrill making his way through the last final turns. Let's go track him down at the last corner. There he is.
Race leader, bike number 1P, Jeremy Madrill, making it look easy as he is still continuing to stretch out his lead. Here comes our second place rider, 02, or rather 949, Keith Powell across the line. Then it's 02, Robert Rinaldo at 139. David Wallace moving his way forward, trying to look at that third place position overall with 118, William Brent rounding out your top three. Then it's going to be X2, Bobby Birdsall, and 48J, James Brown. That's 6th and 7th as Madrill continues to absolutely fly on this track. Halfway flag should be coming out next time by as Madrill out of 7 down that back straightaway over towards turn number 8 with second place rider 949 Keith Powell just out of the crest of the hill over there at 5 down into Charlotte's Web himself. So Madrill just flying out there in this race number 3.
Mr. Greg Tomlinson, Mr. GT is here. I figured he would be. He just crossed start finish a hot second ago. He is in that classic 650 class. Looks like race leaders making their way through the backside of the track.
Want to remind everybody, BMW Motorrad invites you to demo the latest BMW has to offer, including the full R18 lineup, including the new R18B and the R18 Transcontinental. Those are available all weekend long. BMW Motorrad, make life a ride. Get that in there. Also want to let everybody know to please be sure and visit the Barber Vintage Motorsports Museum. They have extended hours this weekend. They're open till 6 tonight and from 8 till 5 tomorrow. And you must see the new Barber Advanced Design Center on the 5th floor. Plus, this weekend is only 1 of 3 times a year they open up the restoration level to the public. So it's a great opportunity to get over there and see just how much work goes into these beautiful machines that are on display. Halfway flags out for your race leader, bike number 1P, Jeremy Madrill, letting him know he's got 4 done and 4 left to go. Then it's 949, Keith Powell, and 139, David Wallace. That rounds out your top 3.
Race leader heading into Charlotte Web right now.
Looks like 139 David Wallace holding on to third as 02 Robert Rinaldo slips back a position in fourth, and 118 William Brent round out your top 5. X2 Bobby Birdsall still back there in 6th, 48 J James Brown in 7th, 864, John Rickard making his way up the field. He's holding on to the 8th position overall. 270, Rob Hall back there at 9th. Believe he's leading for the 200 GP field. And then bike number 5T, Greg Tomlinson, believe he's leading for the Classic 6650 as everybody's starting to see halfway, letting them know that they've got 4 done and 4 left to go. Boy, that sun's brutal in here today.
Yeah.
How's that backdrop looking for your camera?
It's
Better? Bike number 1P, Jeremy Madrill, starting to pick his way through some of the lap traffic as he's working his way out of turn number 13 over into 14 one more time. Meanwhile, bike number 949, Keith Powell has his hands full trying to work his way around some of the lap traffic as it looks like everybody's seen halfway. So whatever happens, this would be considered a race. Second place, and third's right behind him. Looks like 139, David Wallace right on the tail section of 949, Keith Powell as they work their way through the lap traffic here. We'll see if Wallace is able to prove his step on the podium as the laps continue to dwindle down. Meanwhile, race leader, bike number 1P, Jeremy Madrill, has got himself some free and clear track ahead of him as he's out of turn number 7 up over the crest of the hill. Meanwhile, looks like Wallace tries to work down the inside of Powell down at the braking zone for turn number 5 over in Charlotte's Web, thinks the better of it. Oh, and Wallace tried to go around the outside, but gets checked up just a little bit as Powell sort of drifted. So that kind of I won't say hurt, but didn't allow Wallace to get quite the drive out of 7 down the back straightaway as he would have hoped for.
Yeah.
But still a lot of laps left in this one as Powell and Wallace continue to duke it out for that second step of the podium as they work their way over through turns 8 and 9 by the museum.
So those of you who are watching at home, this corner that I've got the camera on right now is what we refer to as Charlotte's Web. And this is a really tricky corner. This is a lot of strategy going into here. You see some really clever, really smart passing happening here. You see some defensive kind of blocking riding going on here. And we see lots of people ride wide here. So it's a really tough corner. And then let's go try to find
race leader, bike number 1P, Jeremy Madrill across the start finish line one more time. We'll get the white flag next time by. Looking up towards turn number 17, waiting for that battle for second place riders, Keith Powell and bike number 139, David Wallace. As here they come. Looks like Wallace made the move, but can't hold on to it as Powell just nips him at the line. So those guys, they're really, again, side by side as they just got to the line, and Powell just had just a skosh more motor on him as they dive down into turn number 1 over to turn number 2. Meanwhile, race leader Jeremy Madrill out of turn number 7 at Charlotte's Web, working his way back down that back straightaway. Here comes the battle for second out of 4th over the crest of the hill. Looks like Wallace made the move, but looks like Keith Powell on 949 returns the favor, passes him on the brakes down into Charlotte's Web. So it's one more time. Here comes Wallace again on the outside. Can't quite make the pass, checks up just a little bit as Powell still holds on to that second place over Wallace. These guys are having an epic battle out there for that second step of the podium. Yeah, copy that. I'm getting ready to do first here in just a moment.
For more details in the other classes outside of the top 10 that I can show you on Race Monitor, make sure you head over to race-monitor.com.
Attention out there in the paddock. Let's go first call. First call for race number 4. Sound of Thunder 1, Formula Extreme, and Formula Lightning. You folks will be up here in just a moment. Again, it's first call. First call for race number 4. Sound of Thunder 1, Formula Extreme, and Formula Lightning. You folks will be up in just a moment. It's first call for race number 4. First call. Out on the racetrack, white flag out for your race leader. Bike number 1P, Jeremy Madrill, starts his final lap. A lot of distance between him and that battle for second, but he's got some lap traffic that he's certainly going to have to pick through as he works his way here around the final lap. Still waiting for that second place battle between Powell and Wallace. Waiting for them to, here they come out on the front straightaway. This time Wallace makes the pass stick in the back area, holds on. It looks like, Powell makes the pass stick. Nope, Wallace has made the pass stick. Powell still back there in that third place position, tried to work his way back in front of David Wallace on 139, thought the better of it as they're pretty much nose to tail down in through turn number 1 as one rider off over in turn number 1. Tough break, was trying to get a number on that one. Oh, and it looks like it was second place rider, bike number 139, David Wallace. He managed to get himself on that second step of the podium, but couldn't quite negotiate turn number 1. Tough break. Good thing is he's up and okay. He's over by the wall. But unfortunately, David Wallace losing the front end over in turn number 1 as he had a great race going on with 949 Keith Powell. So on the drill out front, it looks like Powell's going to be in second. Then the battle now becomes for that third step of the podium between 02 Robert Rinalda and 118 William Brent. We're going to see how that's going to shape up. I haven't really been looking at those guys to find out if they're even close to each other, as bike number 1P Jeremy Madrill just absolutely out there on rails, showing everybody the fast way around as he's working his way through the back section of the course right now. Meanwhile, bike number 949 Keith Powell trying to pick his way through the back markers himself as the field streams on by.
Yeah, Jeremy Madrill has dropped the key off. He is completely checked out of the Fast Guy Hotel.
Checkered flag out for your unofficial race winner, bike number 1P, Jeremy Madrill, as he takes the unofficial win out there, making it look easy here for the Formula field that he's running in. Waiting for that second place rider. See, it's going to be bike number 949, Keith Powell, I believe, as waiting for him to come out of turn number 17. Here he comes down the front straightaway. Bike number 949, Keith Powell, unofficially back there in that second place position. And looks like it was a battle for third as 02 Robert Rinalda just nips 118 William Brent at the line. So put 02 Robert Rinalda on that third step of the podium, with Brent coming home over there in fourth. And it looks like it's going to be X2 Bobby Birdsall back there rounding out your top 5.
Greg Levicki tuning in. Hey, buddy, thanks for watching. Stephen Hipp, one of our familiar.
He's here this weekend.
I know.
I was like calling him on the grid.
No, I catch a lot of the racers watching, which is awesome. Thanks for tuning in. I just was going to say Stephen Hipp is also watching. Thanks for tuning in, one of our AHRMA racers. Eric Watts, thanks for tuning in. Eric, I've been showing your video. Thanks again for posting it. EJ, thank you for the awesome comment. He wrote, thanks for the live views. The alternating camera views are great job, Jackie and Jay.
Thank you. To control. I realize you got your hands full of a bunch of stuff, but it might.
All right, well, we've got these bikes starting to make their way back home. You are watching the end of race number 3. We're hoping to get through race 5 this morning before we head into lunch and then our afternoon program.
Attention out there in the paddock. Let's go second call. Second call for race number 4. Sound of Thunder 1, Formula Extreme and Formula Lightning. Still picking up a few bikes out there, so we're going second call, race number 4. Sound of Thunder 1, Formula Extreme and Formula Lightning. You folks will be up here in just a moment. It is second call. Second call for race number 4, Sound of Thunder 1, Formula Extreme and Formula Lightning. You'll be up in just a moment. Second call, race number 1. Also want to put out there for the BMW Motorrad invites BMW owners to stop by the fan zone to register for the BMW Motorrad parade lap today at lunchtime. Still not too late to get in on that. You got about another 15 minutes, so if you brought your BMW bike to the track, make sure you get down there and set yourself registered in the fan zone with BMW Motorrad to participate in that parade lap today at lunchtime.
So speaking of that great video, I'm going to go ahead and throw Eric Watts. Thank you for sending it. This awesome point of view footage that'll show you one lap around this whole track, so you can kind of see the corners that we're all talking about. We're going to check that out while we pick up a couple of bikes that had some mechanicals, and then we'll head back to the track as soon as we are green.
Also want to remind everybody.
for sending that. I super appreciate it. That is so awesome. I love people being able to see all the different corners of the track. We are still picking up some motorcycles. We are still in a little bit of a stand down, so I'm going to throw some sponsors logos up here to thank our awesome sponsors for the 2022 season.
Call for race number 4, Sound of Thunder 1, Extreme Lightning, and Formula Extreme.
All right. Well,
Extreme Lightning.
Jay just issued third call, so the bikes are going to start making their way out, and there they go. This is race number 4 for this morning.
Yep.
Before lunch.
As the riders take to the track for their warm-up lap, here's the guy they're going to grid out for the Sound of Thunder 1, presented by Erico Motorsports on row number 1. It's 1A Clint Austin, 38A Arnold Hastings, 4L Drew Jancourt, and 77L Patrick Lansu. Row number 2, it's 329 Matthew Crabtree and 13X Steve Metz. Then bike number 21K, Greg Avello. Row number 3, it's 222R Jeff Graham, 771 Ray Hoffman, 9Q Jim Barker, and 090 Christian Mietma. Row number 4 at 68R Craig Grantham, 4X Irvin Kolick, and bike number 60X Rob Wines. Row number 5 is 370 Brett Folkerts, 99T Rob Murray, 46 Bob Robbins, and 2P Peter Kosakis. Row number 6, it's 850 Tim Nelson, 802 Tristan Millard, and 11T Mark Jurasek. Row number 11, it's bike number 15R JM Padron, 9T Nate Kern, and 491 Brian Surtees. For the Formula Extreme, sponsored by Team Power Sports and Sven Aldman. On row number 9 is bike number 447, Peter Nicolosi. This is one of the electric bikes. And then Formula Lightning is sponsored by Peter Nicolosi. On row number 11 is bike number 690, Bob Rebecco, and bike number 91, Sean Smith. These are also an electric bike, so it's a great field to watch these electric bikes take off and race out there. As you know, the whole globe, it seems like, is going electrified vehicles, and we've had a place for them to race out here as the electric bikes are taking their grid position right now while the Sound of Thunder bikes are working through their hot lap.
Right? How cool is that?
It is.
Not just old bikes. We race e-bikes here. We do everything here. There's a class for everybody. If you want to experience some of this fun and excitement for yourself, this awesome family atmosphere, this awesome party and fun atmosphere also, we have a heck of a good time, Jay.
Yep.
Make sure you head over to www.arma.org for more details.
For the Sound of Thunder 1, this is presented by Erico Motorsports. Erico Motorsports is a Triumph, Ducati, Moto Guzzi, and Vespa dealership located in the heart of downtown Denver, Colorado. Celebrating 3 decades of serving the motorcycle community, Erico Motorsports is exciting, exotic, and European. When in Denver, be sure to visit and check out their vintage motorcycle collection on display. Wearing the number 66, John Beldock can be seen racing his Aeroco Motorsports Triumph Moto 2 Daytona at AHRMA events. Some of the biggest, fastest bikes in AHRMA road racing are represented in this class. It features unlimited displacement 4-stroke singles, twins, and triples. This is also to AHRMA's open to AHRMA's open 2-stroke bikes, and even rotary engines can be seen out there. For the Formula Lightning Extreme field, this is sponsored by Team Sports and Sven Alderman. This class is open to any bike with unlimited voltage. And for the Formula Lightning field, sponsored by Peter Nicolosi, this is an all-electric field featuring the latest technology with powertrains similar to the Nissan Leaf, the Tesla Model S, and the electric portion of the Chevy Volts. Speeds are similar for this bike to race-prepped 600cc gasoline-powered bikes. Open to production-based bikes up to 125 volts. Production race bikes are available from Zero and Bramo. Those are the two manufacturers out there. Curtis Comer was the 2021 national champion. As the grid forms up here, getting ready for the start here in just a moment. It's always interesting to hear these electric bikes take off in just a moment.
or not hear them. It's a great whirring sound. Speaking of e-bikes and Zero does have a demo truck here this weekend also.
Cool.
Yep, so you can demo ride one of the bikes.
Green flag waves. This looks like 38 Arnold Hastings gets a good jump as one of the other bikes works his way. I think that might be 40L Drew Jancourt or 77L Patrick Lance who around. Here come the e-bikes. And there they go. That is always such a cool sound to hear those bikes take off down the front straightaway. As out on the racetrack for the gas-powered bikes, looks like 4L Drew Jancourt getting a great jump, holding about a 3-bike length lead over the rest of the field as they work their way all now single file through Charlotte's Web, trying to figure out who's going to lead and who's going to follow as bike number 15R, J.M. Padron, certainly making his march through the field, working their way forward. Attention out in the paddock, attention in the paddock. Race results through race 3 have been posted. Again, race results through race 3 have been posted. We encourage everybody to go down there and check out your finishing positions because you have a half-hour protest period to let us know if it's wrong. So if you tell you that I'm in race 3 and you come up this afternoon saying, hey, I beat this guy on the track, well, too bad. You've got a 30-minute period for protest. That's why we're telling you. Race results 1 through 3 are posted. Check out your finishing positions. If you have any disputes, come up and see us on the 3rd floor of the timing and scoring tower, please. Meanwhile, the race leaders working their way, the field actually working its way over through the roller coaster section through turns 13, 14, 15, waiting for them to come onto the front straightaway. Here they do come. It is going to be bike number 4L, Drew Jancourt out front. 771, Ray Hoffman holding on to that 2nd place position. 38A, Arnold Hastings starting in the front row. He's in that 3rd place position. 77L, Patrick Lansu in 4th, and bike number 21K, Greg Avilo, rounding out your top 5. 13X, Steve Metz back there in 6th. 329, Matthew Crabtree in 7th. 090, Christian Meekman 8th. Bike number 99T, Todd Murray in 9th, and bike number 15R, J.M. Padron, rounding out your top 10 is bike number 77-1, Ray Hoffman, holding on to the draft of the toe from Drew Jancourt as they work their way out of turn number 6 up over the crest of the hill, down that back straightaway one more time. Jancourt again looking like he's got a little bit more horsepower. You know, he and Hoffman had a great battle in race 2. Here we are in race 4, and it's shaping up those two going at it again with bike number 38, Arnold Hastings, rounding out your top 3.
Race leaders are making their way down the backside of the track, heading towards the last couple handful of turns before this front straight. You can see them at the top of your screen. The e-bikes, I believe, are right now heading through Charlotte's Web.
Yeah, that's 2 of them.
It was really quiet. That's how I knew.
Boy, listen to the exhaust notes on those bikes. Man, they're just rowdy.
It was real quiet.
Race leaders out of the fast turn onto the front straightaway. Drew Jancourt still holding on, but bike number 771, Ray Hoffman, right there within striking distance. 38A Arnold Hastings has a little bit of a comfortable lead back there in 3rd. 77L Patrick Lansu in 4th, and 13X Steve Metz still rounding out your top 5 as bike number 15R, J.M. Padron, continue his march forward. He's up to that 6th place position as Jancourt leads Hoffman. Those two are about 3 bike lengths adrift of each other up over the crest of the hill, and 5 down in the braking zone for turn number 6 as looks like Hoffman right there now, a bike length adrift of Jancourt as they're through Charlotte's Web. Jancourt once again cracks that throttle open and instantly stretches out 3 to 4 to 5 bike lengths over Hoffman, as Hoffman tucked in behind his fairing, doing everything he can to get as aerodynamic as possible, holding on to the draft of Drew Jancourt as that duo rockets down that back straightaway over through turns 8, 9 over by the museum one more time. Meanwhile, 38 Arnold Hastings still solidly in third. Lance in fourth. Steve Metz holding on to that 5th place position. J.M. Padron still in that 6th place. Back there in the bike number 329, Matthew Crabtree in 7th, 090, Christian Meekman 8th, 370, Brett Foker in 9th, and bike number 99T, Todd Murray slipping back a few positions, rounding out your top 10 as Drew Jancourt leads Hoffman. Hoffman doing everything he can to keep Jancourt honest in the race lead as those two are pushing each other hard through the back section of the course, waiting for him to come on to the front straightaway one more time in just a moment. Race leader, it's bike number 4L, Drew Jancourt, and he's got 771. Ray Hoffman in tow. Same song, second verse as they dive down into turn number 1. Hastings still right there. Looks like Metz and Lansu starting to have a battle themselves up there for that 4th place position with bike number 15R. J.M. Padron still back there in 6th. Race leaders, though, out of turn number 4 up over the crest of the hill. Hoffman gets a great driving forward down into the striking zone. It looks like, though, some of the 4th place or 3rd place positions are starting to work their way forward as once again race leaders out of turn number 7 up over the crest of the hill. Hastings and Lansu there right there behind him. So it looks like Patrick Lansu coming on strong here as they approach the halfway flag. So a battle still raging for first, and a battle shaping up between Lansu and Hastings for that 3rd step of the podium as the rest of the field pretty much strung out as they're working their way through turns, well, basically from 1 all the way over to the museum turn.
Race leaders are at the top of your screen right now, making their way down the backside of the track.
Boy, Hastings and Lansu are really picking up the pace.
Yeah, they're hauling the mail out there.
Looks like Hastings and Lansu are really picking up the pace, starting to reel in your race leaders. Here comes your e-bikes across the start-finish line. Waiting for the race leaders to come back out here in view in just a moment.
Ooh, look at this. Look at this drag.
Out of it's now a 4-rider battle as Lansu and Hastings really turned it on. Meanwhile, Hoffman leads that lap. Halfway point, Jancourt was right there next to him. Lansu comes on strong, holding on to 3rd, and 38 Arnold Hastings is in 4th. As that quad group of bikes works their way through turn number 2 over to turn number 3. They're going to come up on some of these e-bikes here later on this lap. We'll see how those lap riders, if they make any difference. Meanwhile, Drew Jancourt back up onto the top step of the podium. Hoffman right there in 2nd. Looks like Lansu in 3rd. Arnold Hastings back there off the podium in 4th. As again, those 4 bikes all pretty much nose to tail out of Charlotte's Web as Lansu gets a great drive, rockets past Hoffman, or rather, yes, Hoffman is Drew Jancourt was back in the lead. So Ray Hoffman led that last lap. Now he's all the way back into 3rd as 2 bikes get together over in the Charlotte's Web area. Looks like the riders are up and okay. Good to see through okay, but tough break as we'll get the numbers. Looks like 090 is one of them and 329 is the other bike. So Matthew Crabtree and 090 Christian Meekma coming together over there in Charlotte's Web as the race leaders pick their way through the back markers. Jancourt out front, Lansu in 2nd, Hoffman back there in 3rd, Arnold Hastings in 4th off the podium as they dive over into the back section. Halfway flags out, so waiting for him to come back around in just a moment.
Charlotte's Web snagged a couple of folks out there. You can see them right now.
Out of that final turn at the line, it is going to be Patrick Lansu just nipping bike number 4L, Drew Jancourt. So put Lansu on the top step of the podium. Jancourt in 2nd, Hoffman back there in 3rd, and 38 Arnold Hastings still there within striking distance in that 4th place position as that freight train moves her way through the Alabama roller coaster over through turns 2, 3, up over the crest of the hill in 4. Here they come down into the braking zone. Looks like Jancourt puts himself himself back up onto the top step of the podium as they dive down into turn number 5 over in Charlotte's Web. Meanwhile, 15R, J.M. Padron has worked his way past Metz. So Padron's trying to work his way, make it a 5-way battle as he's up to the top 5 now. It's anybody's race in this one as the laps are starting to dwindling. Everybody's seeing halfway, so whatever happens, this race would be considered complete as Jancourt leads the field down through the museum turns, back up the back straightaway over in front of this fan zone. Fans on their feet over there watching this epic battle of what is turning into be a 5-way battle between Lansu, Jancourt, Hoffman, Hastings, and J.M. Padron as they work their way through the back section over through turns 13, 14, 15. One more time, waiting for them to come into view here in just a moment.
Yeah, this drag race that's going to happen here in just 1 second is absolutely bananas, and you could just about throw a towel over them.
I need an oxygen tank over here.
I know. Here they come.
Race leaders out of that final turn. Here they come thundering down the front straightaway. Looks like Lansu's got a bit of a breathing room, so the battle is for second between Hastings, who led Drew Jancourt on that lap. 771 Ray Hoffman now off the podium and putting 15R J.M. Padron in there. So Lansu really puts his head down, checks out on the field. He's solidly on the top step of the podium at the moment. The battle is for seconds between Hastings, Jancourt, Hoffman, and Padron as here they come out of their last turn up onto the crest of the hill. I believe it is Hastings still holding on to third, Jancourt back there in fourth, but J.M. Padron is trying to put himself up on the podium as Jancourt gets a great drive out of over the crest of the hill, trying to pick up the draft from Hastings. Hoffman right there behind Padron up to fourth. Hoffman slips back into that top 5 as that riders blast down that back straightaway into the museum turns one more time. Attention out there in the paddock. Let's go first call. First call for race number 5, the sidecars. You folks will be up here in just a moment. It's first call. First call for race number 5, the sidecars. You'll be up here in just a moment. First call for race number 5.
Alrighty.
On that last lap as they come up off the hill over there by the fan zone, looks like J.M. Padron made his move, trying to work his way around Drew Jancourt. So Hastings holding on to second, Lansu out in the lead, but the battle now shaping up between Jancourt and Padron as they work their way through turn number 11, 12 onto the front straightaway one more time. Here's the white flag out, I believe, for race leader 77, Lansu. Arnold Hastings there in second. Put 15R, J.M. Padron up on that third step of the podium. Bike number 13X, Steve Metz in there as bike number 4L, Drew Jancourt drops back to round out your top 5 with 77, Ray Hoffman. So not sure if we've got an issue going on with Race Monitor because all of a sudden 13X, Steve Metz showed up out of nowhere as bike number 77L, Patrick Lansu leading this one. It looks like J.M. Padron might have used some of that lap traffic. I'm not sure if he's up to that second step of the podium. Sure looks like he got around Arnold Hastings as the white flag out on this one as it is J.M. Padron rocketing down that back straightaway over towards turn number 8 or 9 and 10 over there with bike number 38A, Arnold Hastings there in tow.
Hey, for those of you who are tuning in at home, thanks for tuning in. This is live on the AHRMA official Facebook page and the AHRMA Videos YouTube page. So you can watch both places. Thank you. All right.
Looking back through the field, trying to find our race leaders. It has been bike number 77L, Patrick Lansu, putting on an epic ride to pick his way through the field.
Should be it.
He's still showing. Checkered flag out for your unofficial race winner, bike number 77L, Patrick Lansu. Then it's going to be 15R, J.M. Padron up on the second step of the podium. 38 Arnold Hastings rounding out your top 3. 13X, Steve Metz back there in fourth. 4L, Drew Jancourt in fifth. And 771, Ray Hoffman back there in that 6th place position. Let's go second call. Second call for race number 5, the sidecars. You folks will be up here in just a moment. It is second call. Second call for race number 5, the sidecars. You folks will be up in just a moment. It is second call for race number 5.
Alrighty, some exciting racing going on, right?
I'd have never predicted that.
I mean, the last race of the season, they're gonna pour it all the way out.
Boy, they were, man. They were absolutely throwing everything at it.
Yeah, really, really great racing today so far. Looking forward to an awesome 2 days of racing out here. The weather's going to be exactly like this. It's going to be a Xerox copy of this today and tomorrow. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Make sure to take a second and hit that share button. Let your friends know that this awesome feed is happening. And let's go ahead and get the next graphics ready.
We picked up those guys. Just let me know when I'm ready for.
All right, as the bikes make their way all in, let's go ahead and get the next graphic set up, which is for our friends over at Sidecar.
While we got a moment, want to remind everybody that the AMA Hall of Famer Brian Slark will begin signing autographs over at the Barber Museum at 10 o'clock this morning, so it looks like he has just started that one. Special commemorative postcards are available for purchase at the museum store, so that's Brian Slark signing autographs at the Barber Museum this morning right now at 10 o'clock. So if you want to make your way over there, start getting some autographs from Brian Slark, our Grand Marshal. He is available. Also, while you're over there, be sure to check out the 5 floors of the exhibit space, and this weekend is one of 3 times this year where the restoration level is open to the public. So again, the hours have been extended. They'll be open until 6 today and from 8 to 5 tomorrow. So make sure you stop in over at the Barber Museum. Attention out there in the paddock. Looks like we've got everybody in position. Let's go third call. Third and final call. Race number 5, the sidecars. You folks are up right now. And for anybody over the fan zone or back there in the back area, now's a great time to work your way over the track to watch this race. The sidecars are always a great race to watch. Again, it's third call. Third and final call, the sidecars. You folks are up right now. If you want to bring them on up, we'll send you out for your hot lap. Again, it is third call. Third and final call for the sidecars. Come on up, folks. Your race is happening right now. Third call for race number 5, the sidecars. Announce to control. Are we going to try and do the Vintage Superbike Heavyweight Vintage Cup after this one, or are we going to try and get 6 in and then do it? Take to the track. Here's how they're going to grid up out there for the sidecars. For the modern sidecar TT2s presented by Jessup Enterprises, on row number 1, it's going to be the rig of 14SC, Peter Essef and E. Lessener. Then 8NZ, the team of Tony Dukas and Dukas, and then 803, Tina Greenfield Hewitt with A. Shielda as the passenger. For the modern sidecar USF2 presented by Pink Power, back on row number 4, it's going to be the team of XA82, Eric Trosper and the passenger of C. Trosper. For the modern sidecar USF1 presented by Barnett Clutches and Cables, on row number 6, it's going to be 64B Bill Wilmeroth and Jay Amon as the passenger, and then 21SC Bernard Jutley and Bikener with the passenger Kay Kautsky as the passenger. For the Formula Classic presented by Ton Up in North Carolina on row number 8, it's 534, the team of Dixon and Korn, and W13, the team of Wilson and Wilson. And on row number 9, it's going to be the rig of X48, Paul Kohler with A. Blake as the passenger. And for the Lost Era sidecar presented by Brave Bull Racing, back on row number 11, it's going to be bike number 981, the team of O'Brien and Narcicos, and then bike number 48SC, the team of Artez and Manny. Then on row number 12 in that field, it's going to be the rig of S46, Dale Lavender and B. Barbeco. Then for the Super Vintage field, presented by Classic Motorcycle Racing, back on row number 14, it's the rig of number 1, Joyce and Schulke, and then the rig of 46X, Rammer and Rammer. Row number 15 in that field, it's going to be bike number 93, May and Chihuahua, and then 71R of Sloter and Pluta is the team. Then on row number 16, it's the rig of 42S, Crombie and Stefaniak. Row number 16, it's the rig of 66D, Eric Green and Jan Pulowski. Row number 17 for that field is going to be the rig of 169, Byron P. Hanna II and A. Bowers, the passenger, and then bike number 96, the team of Woods and Brink for the vintage sidecar presented by SVR and Dutch Stuyvesant and Bob Rebecco. On row number 19, it's the rig of 10P, Michael Platt and Kay Kerr as the passenger. And for the classic big wheel presented by Mad Rats and Fubar, back on row number 21, it's 47S, the team of Stuyvesant and Hogue. That's your field here for race number 5, the sidecar race.
And I think the folks from Mad Rats Racing peeked in on the feed. Joe Fink, thanks for watching. So one of our sponsors of this one of these classes.
For the sidecars, AHRMA is the premier sidecar organization in North America, hosting more sidecar races and racers than any other North America organization. Over 50 sidecar teams have raced with AHRMA in 2021 across 22 races from coast to coast. There are both vintage and modern classes, each having their own unique characteristics. In the vintage classes, you'll see both left and right side chairs. Right side chairs favor left-hand turns, counterclockwise track, and the opposite is said for the left side chairs. With mixed chairs outfit on the track, you'll see a lot of passing at speed as the speeds change dramatically between left and right-hand corners. Skinny tires on the vintage rigs will equate to drifting and sliding, where the modern rigs will perform more like a Formula One car. The modern classes run sleek, spaceship-like outfits with modern 600cc and 1000cc four-stroke engines. The outfits are purpose-built and resemble a modern race car more than a motorcycle. Teamwork is vital. The rider and passenger must work together, and particularly for the passenger, it's a very physical workout. A strong body core is essential for the passenger. Also, a low center of gravity is essential for cornering, along with a passenger transferring weight to the proper position. That's how you're going to see it, is just watch these sidecar racers as they come around the turns. The riders, the passengers, sometimes called a monkey, whether that's politically correct or not, I don't know, but sometimes the passengers are called monkeys. But you'll see the passenger either draping themselves over the rear tire, trying to get to the opposite side of the bike, or hanging off the sidecar side of the bike as the riders take to the grid here. Pretty good sized grid. It's going to be an interesting race as these get waiting for the start here in just a moment.
I know, look at all these sidecar rigs. That's awesome. We've got a huge crowd here, which is great, super fun, always a crowd pleaser. We can already see fans lined up against the fence line on the far side of the track. Everybody loves to come here and watch.
Up front, the bike number 1, the rig of Essef and Lesnar. Pete Essef getting married last night to his bride Ann as they had their wedding here on the front straightaway. Now he's out there on the front row waiting for the green flag to wave as there they go. Looks like 8NZ Tony Dukas gets a good jump, but Essef drops the hammer, leading that field down into turn number 1 as the sidecar's now cleanly away. Going through the sidecar setup, the SC Vintage sidecar, which these are vintage front exit outfits built prior to 1968. Engines are air-cooled 2-strokes up to 350 cc's and 4-strokes up to 650 cc's. Wheels must be spoked and at least 15 inches in diameter, and the tires can be no wider than 4.5 inches, as it looks like the team of Dukas and Dukas really get a good drive out of the turn number 3 up the crest of the hill, with Essef and his passenger Lesnar back there in that second place position as they work through Charlotte's Web. For the super vintage sidecar, by far the most popular sidecar class, these are vintage front exit outfits built up through 1972. Engines are air-cooled, 2-strokes up to 500 cc's and 4-strokes up to 750 cc's. Popular examples include the BMW R75 750s, Yamaha XS 650s, and Moto Guzzi 750 power rigs like SC1s. These run the skinny tires. Go for an ounce. Moving on for the SC3, this is the Lost Era sidecars. Front and rear engine exit outfits, or rather front and rear exit outfits built up to 1977 are legal in this class. 2-strokes up to engines up to 550 cc's and 4-strokes up to 847 cc's are out there. The SC4, which is the Formula Classic sidecars, front and rear exit outfits built up through 1981. A variety of power plants are available for use up to 1300 cc's. Bears, which stands for the big wheel sidecars, these are a minimum of 17-inch wheel requirements. The rigs are based on Bears class motorcycles with relatively stock components and no streamlining. For the modern classes out there, FS1 and F2, or US F1 and F2, the F1s are a long wheelbase 1000cc power plant machines, while the F2s are short wheelbase 1000cc power plants. For the TT1 and TT2, it's comparable. The TT1 are long wheelbase 600cc power plants provided to FIM rules, and the TT2s are short wheelbase 600 power plants to FIM rules. For the modern sidecar TT2, this class is sponsored by Jessup Enterprises. Jim Essup of Jessup Enterprises shared that as he got older and the aches and pains grew, so a couple of years ago he started using CBD products. CTFO has many CBD and non-CBD related products available and performs third-party testing, so you know what is on the label is what's in the product. Law enforcement tested, no THC racing, and CBD are a perfect fit. You can relieve the pain without affecting the brain. Become a preferred customer and visit them on the web at www.jess-cbd.com or see them at the track. For the modern sidecar USF2, this is sponsored by Pink Power. The modern sidecar USF1 is sponsored by Barnett Clutches and Cable. Formula Classic is sponsored by Ton Up North Carolina. This is a non-profit organization promoting the riding, racing, and restoration of vintage motorcycles through education and outreach. The Lost Era Sidecars SS3 is sponsored by Brave Bull Racing. The Super Vintage SSC 2 field is sponsored by Classic Motorcycle Racing Foundation, which promotes the exhibition and preservation of vintage motorcycles and vintage motorcycle racing. The foundation supports education related to activities that emphasizes the mechanical history and evolution of motorcycling and its impact on society. The Vintage Sidecar is sponsored by SVR and Dutch Stuyvesant with Bob Rebecco, and the Big Wheel Field is sponsored by Mad Rats Fubar. Mad Rats Racing is a family-based team out of Canandaigua, Pennsylvania, committed to the excitement of entry-level sidecar racing. Fubar Garage is a family-oriented garage owned by Jim Venzel, located in Apollo, Pennsylvania, and is dedicated to providing quality mechanical services at an affordable cost. Out there racing this time, it's 14SC, the team of SF and Lenser, leading the team of Dukas and Dukas as they work their way on the second lap down, and they're actually on the third lap all the way through the turns 2 and 3 area, waiting for him to come up with the crest of the hill here in just a moment as Pete Essup has really got his head down, pulling out quite a bit of lead. Then it's Jutli and Kotsky. They're running and leading in their field for the modern sidecar up into that second place overall. Then 8NZ Tony Dukas back there in third as that trio works their way out of Charlotte's Web up over the crest of the hill as Jutli and Kotsky stretch out the legs on that big machine as they rocket down that back straightaway. They've got their sights set on Essup and Leinster for the overall lead. Then moving back to the field in fourth place position overall, it's X82 Trosper and Trosper. Then rounding out your top 5, it's rig number 1 of Joyce and Schluke back there, or Schulke rather. In that sixth place position, it's 66D, the team of Green and Yamplowski. Seventh overall is rig X48, Kohler and Blake. The rig of 64B, Wilmerath and Richards holds on to that 8th place position. 93 belongs to May and Chihuahua. And rounding out your top 10 is the rig of 46X, Rammer and Rammer, as looks like SF and Lester still holding on to the lead, working their way up the hill. Going to come around some of the back markers here in just a moment. I don't know why I cannot announce this race today.
Alrighty, I think our race leaders are kind of, heading their way.
Attention out there in the paddock. Race results through race 4 have been posted. Again, race results through race 4 are posted. Out front, the rig of 40SC, Peter Essup and his passenger Lenser leading on this one. 21SC, Bernard Jukli and Kautsky holding on to that second place position. Then it's 8NZ, Tony Dukas and Dukas rounding out your top 3. Bike number 1, Jim Joyce with his passenger Schulke rather. I gotta get that person's name right. Holding on to 4th place position overall. Looks like they're leading in the SC2 field. And rounding out your top 5 at 66D, the team of Green and Yamplowski rounding out that top 5 as SF and Lenser still holding on to a good lead over Julie and Kautsky. How do I say Bernard's name? I mispronounced. Euclid. I'll get it right.
And Kevin Kautsky.
Kevin Kautsky. Well, that's the other thing I don't like about these races is they don't.
All right, let's head back to Charlotte's Web, see what's going on down there. Some very careful navigating of that Charlotte's Web on these sidecar rigs, I'm sure.
Telling ya.
I think you just gotta like creep on through there. She likes to snag some people.
Bike number 14 SC, Peter Essef and Lenser still leading this one with Euclid and Kautsky right there trying to reel him in, but not able to do much on that last lap. Halfway flag should be coming out this time. Let the rigs know they've got 4 done and 4 left to go as Essef set down a pretty blistering pace here, leading in this one as here he comes down that front straightaway one more time. About a quarter to a half a front straightaway lead over that 21 SC rig of Euclid and Kautsky as they dive down into turn number 1 themselves within striking distance, but still comfortably there in second and almost a full front straightaway lead behind him. It's the team of 8NZ, Dukas and Dukas, as they see the halfway flags out, letting them know they've got 4 done and 4 left to go.
All right, race leaders right now making their way through the middle part of the track, heading directly towards Charlotte's Web.
Looks like race leaders getting around one of the laps rigs as they dive down into Charlotte's Web one more time. Meanwhile, 21 SC, Euclid and Kautsky still trying to chip away at the lead of Essef and Lenzner as they work their way up over the crest of the hill down that back straightaway. It looks like Euclid gets a great drive this time, really closing in on Essef and Lenzner as they work their way down through turn number 8 and 9 over by the museum one more time. I wonder if Pete might have missed a shift because Euclid and Kautsky really reeled him in that last lap, or that last portion of the track.
Let's go track them down. So in the middle of the screen right now, if you're watching along at home, first of all, thanks for tuning in. The middle of the screen is going to be Charlotte's Web. The top of the screen is the backside of the track. Those are race leaders that just went by right now, and they're heading towards the last handful of turns before they come back out here on the front straight and head towards the start-finish line.
Looks like Essef and Lenzner still leading as the Euclid and Kautsky disappear out of view over between turns number 14 and 15, waiting for them to come back around. They're going to really run into some lap traffic here, and the next couple laps as a pack of about 5 or 6 rigs cross the start-finish line. Here comes a few more. Here comes your race leader. It is 14 SC, Essef and Lenzner working their way around. Euclid and Kautsky right there within striking distance as they dive down into turn number 1. Euclid stuffs it in deep on the inside as Essef sweeps around on the outside, so Pete's got to know he's got some company in the team of Euclid and Kautsky as they work their way through turn number 2 over to turn number 3. Going to really have to pick their way through a lot of traffic here on this lap as here comes Essef. He made a statement through turn number 2 over to 3 and 4 as he's got a good 15 to 20 lengths between he and the rig of 21 SC, Bernard Euclid and Kautsky as they're through Charlotte's Web one more time. Essef takes a good line up the inside while the slower rigs moves way over to the outside as they rocket down that back straightaway. Euclid once again really pouring on the power as Essef gets his rig going. They're pretty much nose to tail down into turn number 8 as Essef has got Euclid right on his tail section as they disappear in view over in through the museum turn one more time. Essef has been getting a pretty good drive out of turn number 9, and we'll see if he's able to hold on to it this time as they continue to pick their way through the slower traffic, waiting for him to come up here past the fan zone. All the fans on their feet over there as looks like Essef still holding on. It looked like Euclid and Kautsky got checked up by some of the slower riders over into turn number 9, so they've got some distance they're going to have to work as Pete Essef still leading this one as they work their way out of view over into turn number 13 and 14 and 15 right now. Attention in the paddock, let's go first call. First call for race number 6, Next Gen Superbike 2, Battle of the Thunder 1, and Sound of Singles 1. You folks will be up here in just a moment. It's first call for race number 6. First call for race number 6. It's only 10:26. Essef still leading. Essef and Lenzner still leading Euclid and Kautsky as they've worked their way through that traffic. Then it's going to be the team of Dukas and Dukas on 8NZ trying to work their way around. White flag should be coming out next time by. Again, it's first call. First call for race number 6, Next Gen Superbike 2, Battle of the Thunder 1, and Sound of Singles 1. You folks will be up in just a moment. Again, first call for race number 6. Okay.
No, you're right.
I missed SF coming by. I just saw Euclid there. Looks like Pete SF and Lenzner's really putting their head down on this one as Euclid and Kautsky has dropped back. Not sure if they've got a mechanical issue or what, but SF really pours on the coals, stretching out quite a bit of distance over that second place battle between 21 SC Bernard Euclid and Kautsky running as the passenger. White flag should be coming out this next time by. Then across the line and running out your top five, it's the rig of 64B, Wilmeroth and Richards. They're in that fifth. Joyce and Schulke rounding out. They're holding on to that fourth place position. Looks like they're leading in the SC2 modern class. As up front, bike number 14, SC Peter SF and Lenzner still out of turn number 13 over into 14 out of view one more time.
Kevin Burns piped in and said, "Hey kids, Tim Joyce's passenger is Renee Becky."
Oh, Renee Becky. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We just read the paper that's in front of us,
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's not the name. So, but thank you. We appreciate it, Renee
Go Becky. Go Becky.
Go Renee Becky. All right, let's try to track down.
Race leader sees the white flag here. It's going to be Peter SF and his passenger Lenzner across the start-finish line. Wow, they've got almost a full front straightaway lead over that second place rig of 21 SC, Euclid and Kautsky, as they start their final lap here. Then looks like next across the line it should be 8NZ, the team of Dukas and Dukas, as they're working their way through the back section of the course right now. Bike number 14 SC, Peter SF and his passenger working their way one more time through Charlotte's Web. I guess marriage does a body good. Pete got married to his bride Ann out here on the start-finish line last night after all the racing's done. So he's going to go out and celebrate his honeymoon with an unofficial win here if he can keep it together for a few more turns, with Euclid and Kautsky back there in second and Dukas rounding out the top three here on an exciting final lap. 66D. Looks like 66D. Eric Green and Yomplowski's race comes to an early end as they have a mechanical failure out there. Another rider off over in the turn 17 area as they ran out of track. And look again, a mechanical issue as they're off track. Waiting for the race leader. It's going to be bike number one. He's one on the bike, 14 SC, Pete SF and his passenger Lenzner, as they're working their way through the back section right now. Where is he?
Eric Green, I believe, is in Lost Era. So yeah, he's on a little bit older
yeah.
machine, maybe a little bit more mechanical situations involved.
Here comes your race leader, unofficial win. Bike number 14 SC, Peter SF and Lenzner take the unofficial win. Then it looks like next across the line, it should be bike number 21 SC. That's going to be Euclid and Kautsky as they take the unofficial second out there.
Gary Hucker, thanks for the thumbs up.
Yeah, he did. He really did. Attention out there for race number 6. We've got 3 different rigs we're have to pick up out there, so we're holding for this moment on first call for race number 6, Next Gen Superbike 2, Battle of Thunder 1, Sound of Singles 1. If you guys are wondering why we're still holding on first call, is because we've got 3 rigs we've got to pick up, and unfortunately we can't put those on trailers. We have to tow them in with a tow strap, so it's going to take us just a moment. So we're holding on first call for race number 6. We'll get the calls going for you guys here in just a moment. Want to again remind everybody that the AMA Hall of Famer Brian Slark is signing autographs over at the Barber Museum right now. If you want to get over there, they have special commemorative postcards available for purchase at the museum store. That's Brian Slark signing autographs at the Barber Museum this morning right now. And while you're there, check out their awesome new merchandise in the Barber Museum store, which is located there in the museum, or at their merchandise trailer located in the swap meet. They can fill your track and museum sportswear and souvenir needs, and they have this year's official Vintage Festival merchandise in stock. So make sure you get over there and pick up your official stock as quickly as possible, because that does tend to go fast. Also want to put it out there that the Globe of Death is being set up over there. The Urias family is proud to be performing in this original globe that was built by their great-grandfather 100 years ago. The Daredevil stunts are performed within the confines of this 16-foot diameter steel globe. Showtimes are taking place throughout the day, today, and tomorrow. We encourage everybody to get over there and check out the Globe of Death. You can also check out the Wall of Death over there. The American Motordrome's Wall of Death is a vintage live-action thrill show featuring a 30-foot diameter silo-shaped wooden cylinder known as a Motordrome. Inside the Motordrome, Daredevils travel along the vertical wall performing trick, fancy, and acrobatic ridings. Again, showtimes will take place throughout the weekend, so make sure you get over there and check out those two attractions. I have to take a pause.
Alrighty, so I'm sure you heard Jay announce over the loudspeaker. We have 3 sidecars that had some mechanicals. They have to be pulled in with a tow strap. We can't just put them on a rig, I don't think. So it's going to take just a minute is what I'm getting at. So I am going to go ahead and change the graphics out, of course. And then I am also going to go ahead and throw up on the screen for your enjoyment. I've got a really great video showing this track. Eric Watts, thanks again, my friend. We appreciate you. Sent me some awesome, well, he didn't send me, he posted it on YouTube, and I stole a cut of a hot lap out of it so you can see from point of view what it is like to race here at Barber. So let's go ahead and check out that video while we have a couple of moments. It's a great time to maybe grab a snack also, and we will be right back. Thanks again, Eric Watts, for the on-board camera footage.
Just
We
confirming we're
appreciate
doing
you.
lunch after this race.
Alrighty, so we did have just second call for race 6. We
Yeah.
are going to get 6 races in before lunch. Look
Yeah.
at us all go.
I know.
So let me go ahead and get these graphics up. It is Next Gen Superbike 2.
Attention down there in paddock. I want to remind everybody after race number 6, we will be officially breaking for lunch. So If you're feeling a mite bit hungry, want to get a jump on it, Rusty's Barbecue's open. Head on over to Rusty's Barbecue, where their meats are slow cooked over hickory and hand pulled so that every bite is tender and flavorful. Their menu features a wide selection of everything from barbecue sandwiches and kids' meals to plates for their famous ribs, pulled pork, and chicken. Order ahead at rustysbarbecue.com. Also, make sure you visit the concession stands. There's plenty of them available around over there if you're hungry or thirsty. They have a wide variety of concessions located over there in the fan zone, the paddock, Lot C, and the upper and lower swap meet area. So feel free to start grabbing yourself something to eat. We will be breaking for lunch after race number 6.
All right, as you've heard Jay and I mention a couple of times, we do take a break for lunch here. So there will be a break in the live stream. We will be coming back about an hour after that break. So make sure you come on back. You're not going to want to miss the afternoon sessions. We've got a whole lot of racing going your way. Or coming your way, I should
Attention out
say.
there in the paddock. Let's go third call. Third and final call for race number 6. Next Gen Superbike 2, Battle of Thunder 1, and Sound of Singles 1. Sorry for the delay. We've got everything cleaned up out there, so let's go third call. Third and final call for race number 6. Next Gen Superbike 2, Battle of Thunder 1, and the Sound of Singles 1. You folks are up right now. Again, it is third call. Third and final call for race number 6. Next Gen Superbike 2, Battle of Thunder 1, and the Sound of Singles 1. Come on up. We'll send you out for your hot lap. Okay. As the riders get ready to take to the track for their warm-up lap, here's how they're going to grid up for the Next Gen Superbike 2 field, sponsored by LM2 Experiences and SPD Action Travel. On row number 1, it's 020 Jeff Nelson, 784 Christopher Kiden, and bike number 1 Jim Barker, 68R Craig Grantham. On row number 2, it's 6E Eric Burrell, 29J Scott Rothermel, and 67M Mark Perrone. Row number 3, it's 021 Eric Bozell, 898 Jared Sadaka, 326 Sean Castle, and bike number 57A Robert Chowdle. Row number 4, it's 48J James Brown, and 69B Ben Barker, and then 198 Dylan Connor. Row number 5, it's going to be 61 Paul Germain, 614 Jay Letts, or 640 rather Jay Letts, 477 Amat Caden, bike number 12X Ricky Orlando, and bike number 4 Anthony Bond. For the Battle of Thunder 1, presented by Fast by Faraci, in row number 8, it's going to be bike number 14, Brian Larimer, 03 Jesse Davis, 553 Paul Canale, and 15X Tony Prust. Row number 9, it's 46 Bob Robbins, 22A Mark 10, and 576 Christian Jensen. Row number 10, it's bike number 19, Nate Kern, 37X Stefano Mesa, 181 Randy Sullinger, and bike number 901 Sean Beast. Then at row number 11, it's 15R J.M. Padron. That is your field here for the Next Gen Superbike 2, Battle of Thunder 1, and Sound of Singles 1. I got nobody in.
Thank you, Carrie. My buddy Carrie was watching. I forgot to hit the sound. Sorry about that.
Hey, how about some sound?
All right. Well, you were watching just the video version, but now you get the audio.
Copy. Attention to the paddock. Eric Trosper, would you please report to Tech immediately? Again, Eric Trosper to Tech. Tech is looking for Eric Trosper. We need to see you immediately, please. Thank you. Out on the field, 781 Christopher Akaiden out there leading this one over 68R Craig Grantham, and then 29J Scott Rothamel holding on to that top 3 position. 60 Eric Burrell back there in 4th, and bike number 12X Ricky Orlando rounding out your top 5. 020 Jeff Nelson back there in 6th. 326 Sean Castle in 7th. 67 in Mark Perrone in 8th. Bike number 69 Ben Baker in 9th, and 021 Eric Bozell rounding out your top 10. As 784 Christopher Akaiden wasting no time once again, setting an opening blistering lap here for lap number 1, still holding the throttle down here on lap number 2. Well, we got a free moment when Barber Motorsports Park would like to thank Alabama's #1 Chevy dealer, Lynn Layton Chevrolet, for their partnership with them here at the Barber Motorsports Park Speedway. That's Lynn Layton Chevrolet in Decatur, where people make the difference. Also, for Coca-Cola, have you tried a Coke Zero Sugar? Is it the best Coke ever? Try it. Coca-Cola offers real magic. Why do they have these?
Real magic.
Coca-Cola.
Just like vintage motorcycle racing. Real magic.
Yeah.
All right, let's go try to find race leaders now. Thanks again, Carrie, for letting me know I accidentally had that mute button still on. Race leaders just now making their way down the front straight. Christopher Akaiden, 1.
784 Christopher Akaiden continues to open up a lead about a quarter of front straightaway over 29J Scott Rothamel. Scott coming on strong there, holding on to that second place position as he gets around 68R Craig Grantham. So Grantham back to that third place position as Akaiden working his way out of turn number 4 over the crest of the hill down into Charlotte's Web one more time. Rothamel trying to chip away at his lead, but not able to do much with it. As a 60 Eric Burrell back there in that 4th place position on that lap, but I think he's lost a position to 12X Ricky Orlando as they dive down into Charlotte's Web. Then it's 37X Stefano Mesa holding on to that 6th position at that last lap. Then it's 326 Sean Castle back there in 7th. 020 Jeff Nelson in 8th. 69 Ben Baker in 9th. 19 Nate Kern coming on strong here. Round out your top 10. Looks like Nate's leading out there for the Battle of the Twins 1.
As always, I use Race Monitor here on the live feed, and it only shows my top 10. So for more detailed information, make sure you head to race-monitor.com. Thanks again for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate you watching, clicking, liking, and sharing all these videos with your friends that love watching exciting motorcycle racing. A great weekend of racing going on here this weekend with AHRMA. Race leader making the way through the back straight. At the top of your screen right now.
Attention out there in the paddock. Want to let everybody know that registration is open for the VJMC Members Bike Show. Again, registration and setup is open. They've been open here for almost an hour. They'll be open from 10 until noon. The VJM Members Bike Show. Registration and setup is open right now. Also here at 11 o'clock this morning, we'll bring Brian Slark over here in about 10 minutes. He'll be signing autographs over here in the tech area for the road race group. So immediately following this race, we'll be bringing Brian Slark over here to sign autographs here in the tech area at the conclusion of this race.
Race leaders going through Charlotte Webb right now in the middle of your screen.
Out front, bike number 37X, Stefano Mesa really turning up that last lap, showing him as the leader. Battle of the Twins 1 as he is out there flying. Then it's 784, Christopher Akaiden. He's running in the lead for the Next Gen Superbikes. Then 29J Scott Rothamel, second in class, third overall for the Next Gen Superbikes. Then 68R, Craig Grantham Rounding out your top 3 for the Next Gen Superbikes. Then going on down through the field, Nate Kern, bike number 9T. He's holding on to 7th overall. He's second in class for the Battle of the Twins 1. Then looking back all the way through, trying to find that third place position. Looks like it's going to be J.M. Padron. He's back in 11th overall, running third in class for the Battle of the Twins 1. As 37X Stefano Mesa really coming on strong here as the halfway flags are out on this one.
Race leaders making their way down here now. Nate Kern just now crossing start finish.
Running on through the field, looks like Stefano Mesa out front, Christopher Kite in there in second, Rothermel back in third, Nate Kern running in fourth place position. He's second in class for the Battle of the Twins 1, and 68R Craig Grantham rounding out your top 5. Go for announce. Copy that.
Race leaders are towards the top.
Attention out there in the paddock, looking for Eric Trosper. Eric Trosper to registration immediately, please. Again, Eric Trosper, we need you to registration immediately, please. Eric Trosper to registration, please. Going on through the field, back there in that 6th place position, it's 12X, Ricky Orlando in 6th, 6E, Eric Burrell in 7th, 326, Sean Castle back there in 8th, 15R, J.M. Patterson in 9th, and 69, Ben Baker round out your top 10. As everybody having seen halfway, so whatever happens in this race, it would be considered complete as Stefano Mesa really pulling out our lead over 784 Christopher Caden. Then Nate Kern coming on strong there, holding on to that 3rd place position overall. Second in class for the Battle of the Twins 1, 29J Scott Rothermel holding on to, looks like he's running second in class, and a real battle shaping up here between Orlando and Padron, but not really, because Orlando is running 3rd in class for Next Gen Superbikes, but he's got 15R J.M. Padron right there behind him. Padron is running 3rd in class for the Battle of the Twins 1. Then 68R Craig Grantham continues to slip back the board, 7th overall, 4th in class off the podium for Next Gen Superbike. Then bike number 60, Eric Burrell, rounds out the Next Gen Superbike in 5th place position, 8th overall, as Stefano Mesa continues to just absolutely run away and hide from the rest of this field. He's evidently hungry and wants to lay wants to break his start early.
He's ready for lunch. He's ready to just wrap this up. And
evidently, bike number 37, Stefano Mesa, is definitely hungry for lunch as he's trying to get this one done as quickly as possible. As we've got a Crimson Adventure. One bike, unfortunately, in the middle of the track over there at the exit of Charlotte's Web. Good thing is the rider's up and okay, moving off, but the bike is right there in the middle of the track. So that brings out our first Crimson Adventure here, actually the second Crimson Adventure of the day. Tough break for the rider that race ends early, as looks like the rider is up and okay. Got a number? Can't quite tell. So being that we were past halfway on this one should be a complete race, and we should be at lunch break, but let me confirm that. Attention on the paddock. Yep, we are confirmed. We were past halfway. Everybody saw the halfway flag. This is considered a complete race. Tough break for the rider that didn't quite survive, or the bike didn't quite survive the exit of turn number 5 over at Charlotte's Web. She finally bit one today. Good that the rider's up and okay, but unfortunately, again, the bike is in the middle of the track. Caused a Crimson Adventure. We're past halfway, so this is finished or considered a complete race. So we are now officially at lunch break. Want to remind everybody, Rusty's Barbecue is open over there. If you want to head on over that way, their meats are slow smoked over hickory and hand pulled so that every bite is tender and flavorful. Their menu features a wide selection of everything from barbecue sandwiches and kids meals to plates of their famous ribs, pulled pork, and chicken. Or you can order ahead at rustysbarbecue.com on the web. Also, plenty of concessions there is open up over there in the fan zone. If you're hungry or thirsty, man, jump over there and pick yourself up some of that great grub over there. They have a wide variety of concessionaires located in the fan zone, the paddock, lot C, and the upper and lower swap meet. You guys are make sure that you grab yourself something to eat as we are now officially at lunch break.
All right, race fans, and that concludes race number 6 for us today of a 17 race day. Woo! So we have 11 more races to go. We'll be back after lunch. We'll be taking a break for approximately 50 minutes or so. So make sure you hit notifications on. You are not going to want to miss the second half of today's program. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Make sure you hit that share button. Share this feed with your friends that love watching awesome racing. We're streaming both on the AHRMA official Facebook page and the AHRMA Videos YouTube page. So you can watch it over on YouTube now as well. We'll see you on the flip side.